Eagle is back. 2 weeks ago, the Tennessee Volunteers knocked the Tigers from their #1 perch by stopping the Bo Jackson Heisman Express. But last week, Auburn roared back. Under the lights at home against the tough Ole Miss squad, the Tigers dominated, with Bo Jackson leading the way. They rolled up 606 yards of total offense, 39 first downs, and 41 points, all without ever having to punt. And on defense, the Tigers were just as effective, allowing the Rebels just 9 total yards for the entire game, a 41-0 shutout. And today, the Tigers will vent their wrath on 4th-ranked Florida State. Bobby Bowden's Seminoles have been impressive, knocking off Nebraska in Lincoln and not allowing a touchdown in the second half of any game this year. Last year's Auburn-FSU tilt was college football at its most exciting, with the Tigers scoring the winning touchdown in the last minute.
2 tight ends for Washington. He's going to pitch the forward, tries to get outside. He dives for the pylon. He's in! He's in! He's in!
Auburn held on for a wild 42-41 victory in that contest, but 1985 shootout on the Plains begins just moments from now. Florida State versus Auburn.
Turner Network Television presents Super Football Saturday. Today, the 11th-ranked Auburn Tigers host the 4th-ranked Seminoles of Florida State. Brought to you by Buick. For comfort, innovation, and a real commitment to quality, it's today's Buicks. By Michelob Light, super premium taste and a less filling beer. Who says you can't have it all? And by Valvoline 4Guard, the motor oil for today's harder-working 4-cylinder engines.
In the name of Christ Jesus, your Son, who threw the blood on the cross.
You're hearing the invocation at Jordan-Hare Stadium in Auburn, Alabama, where today Florida State University and the Tigers of Auburn set to do battle. 72,169 folks, 10,000 of whom are up from Tallahassee. Hi, everybody. It's Bob Neal and Tim Foley. Tim, they call Bobby Bowden the king of the road because his Seminoles are tough on the road, but they have never won here at Jordan-Hare, and it could be even tougher today. Auburn's back, and they seem to have settled on a quarterback, Pat Washington.
They've been playing kind of quarterback roulette, but I think in an attempt to reduce the amount of stakes they're having on offense, Pat Dye has gone with maturity and stability, taken Pat Washington, and I think he's going to help in eliminating those mistakes.
And Bo Jackson, as you watch Pat Washington in action here, is the straw that stirs the Auburn drink, as they've been saying for several years now. Bo Jackson leads the nation in rushing, and he's rushed more than the entire Florida State backfield in these first 4 games. Florida State, however, may have a defense good enough to stop him. That'll at least be their first priority, to stop Jackson out of the eye.
I don't think, and you'll agree with this, I'm sure, out there, you can't stop a back like Bo Jackson. He's going to run on you. The idea is to try to eliminate the big play. And as a linebacker, react when the ball's handed to Jackson. But one of the things you have to be aware of is the play pass, and Auburn may use that today.
And Paul McGowan leads the 2 very good inside linebackers, McGowan and Fred Jones. Here out of the eye, you can see Memphis State had a real problem with the Florida State defensive team. Offensively, Florida State has had kind of a quarterback merry-go-round, but Danny McManus will start there.
Yeah, the quarterback situation at Florida State has been a lot different. Injuries have kind of dictated it. They're coming back with Danny McManus, and if he's been knocked out of 2 football games, and if I'm on Auburn's defense, well, I'm going to pressure him. I'm going to see if I can get to him early and try to rattle him up. If he's got time to throw to Darren Holloman and Hassan Jones, it's going to be a long afternoon for Auburn.
And I might remind everyone that Auburn's defensive team, overlooked a little bit by the press, is #1 in total defense in the Southeastern Conference, and they are very good, particularly up front. So it'll be a tough defense that FSU has to go against today. We're looking for another heart stopper here at Jordan-Hare Stadium. Florida State and Auburn. We'll be back to continue with Football Saturday from our studios in Atlanta right after this.
Working together, making life better, taking the keys and we're on our way. Skylark. It never stops, there's always something to do. Morning to night, each and every day. Skylark. One of these days we gotta take a vacation, but until then we got places to be. Skylark.
The new Buick Skylark, a little sedan and a lot of Buick.
Skylark, Skylark, Skylark. Wouldn't you really rather have a Buick?
4-cylinder engines have changed. They work harder than ever, even when they're just idling. But watch this. Even after 7,500 miles at top speed in a 4-cylinder engine, new Valvoline 4-Guard motor oil showed no significant breakdown. None. New Valvoline 4-Guard. It helps your 4-cylinder engine keep up the hard work.
Super Football Saturday continues in studio with Craig Sager and Alec Hawkins.
Auburn and Florida State. Last year they combined for 83 points. And with Bo Jackson, the passing attack of Florida State, I'm looking forward to this one.
I think they pretty well covered at the top of the show. You're not going to stop Bo Jackson, but if you can hold him under 150 yards, you've done a good job.
Tennessee held him for under 100 yards, but of course they knocked him out of the ball game.
Yeah, Bo Jackson did not want to leave that ball game, but his knee, he said he had trouble with injuries last year, and he wasn't going to repeat last year's performances. He took care of himself. But what they've got to do is just that. They've got to stop Danny McManus, the quarterback, the sophomore quarterback for Florida State. In addition to that, Bobby Bowden just airs the ball. It doesn't matter which quarterback he uses, really. He plays X's and O's offense, which means that if you're a receiver, you catch the ball, and you see Hassan Jones doing it right here. Almost anybody in his offense can come in and contribute.
We saw Hassan Jones get hurt in the opening game we had televised against Tulane. I'm glad to see he's back at full strength. He's an exciting player to watch.
And they've got so much depth at any position, and that should give them a slight edge over Auburn, because Auburn's got great depth too, but not like Florida State.
I'm going to show you a great pass play right now. The ball game, North Carolina State against Pittsburgh, opening possession, third play of the game. North Carolina State, of course, the underdog. Watch this one. Eric Kramer to Phil Brothers, who beats the secondary, then outruns them. A 90-yard touchdown pass. And NC State is on top of Pittsburgh 7-0. Other scores, Virginia Tech leads William and Mary by the same score, and a field goal by Clemson leading Virginia 3-0.
And this will be the first time, if Virginia wins today, be the first time they've ever beaten Clemson. And Clemson, of course, has not been off to a good start this year at Death Valley.
Other good games today, Oklahoma State, Nebraska.
Pat Jones has his job cut out for him. He hasn't beaten Nebraska since 1961, or not he, but the entire school has never won since 1961, and that's his job, is to erase this mental block that they have.
Alabama, Penn State.
Alabama, Ray Perkins may just have matured as a coach over there. We'll find out today, because he's going to be tested by Joe Paterno. DJ Dozier is back, and he's a fine runner for Penn State.
Big Ten rivalries, Michigan, Michigan State, Northwestern, Minnesota.
Michigan State has Lorenzo White, number 4 rusher in the country, but Michigan has Jim Harbaugh, and they also at quarterback, and I can't remember when I saw Michigan's team that could throw as well as he does. In addition to that, they've got a top defense.
And Northwestern's trying to win a homecoming.
And who would know more about that than you?
We'll have, of course, scores and highlights throughout the game. We'll have the first half coming up with Bob Neal and Tim Foley in just a moment.
The Florida State University Seminoles, they are 4-0. They defeated Nebraska on the road. They are known as the kings of the road, but they've never won here because of the Auburn Tigers. They are 3-1. They suffered a 38-20 loss at Tennessee. Rebounded and rebound they did last week with a 41-0 whipping here at Jordan-Hare of Ole Miss. And there comes Pat Dye, 5th year at Auburn. He was at East Carolina, then Wyoming. He is 91, 38-1 since coming here. Florida State and Auburn, the Seminoles and the Tigers, in what was a heart-stopper last year. We'll be back with the coin toss and the kickoff right after this. This is Turner Network Television. The captain's in the middle of the field now with the officials in today's game. The man in the white hat is the referee. His name is Bill Goff. Let's join them for the pregame conversation. As you'll see the coin toss, the mic is not working, we understand, so we'll just watch and find out what happens as you do. Auburn has won the toss. Remember that the teams have an option here as to whether or not to take the option to make a decision on kicking off or receiving. Normally, and what has happened almost all year, and even last year, is the team that wins the toss takes the option for the second half. I think that's what's happened here. Here is Auburn. They won the toss. They are going to receive. That's the first time we've seen it, as soon as I told you that. Auburn has elected to exercise their option here in the first half, will receive, and the Auburn University Tigers will be on offense to begin this game. They are number 2 in the nation, right behind Nebraska in total offense. The man who'll pull the trigger today, number 10, Pat Washington, and it has been really a quarterback merry-go-round for Auburn this year. They started the first game that you saw here on TNT with Bobby Walden at quarterback, then came in with Jeff Berger to start a couple of games. Now Pat Washington is the man. There you see the comparison. comparison of the statistics of the three people who have played quarterback for Auburn so far this year. Pat Washington now with the starting job, and we might say this is Pat Washington's 22nd birthday today. So happy birthday to Pat Washington. Let's see if that will motivate that young man. We mentioned Florida State's quarterback situation. Florida State also has a group of quarterbacks. As you look at Barry Barco, number 7, the kickoff kicker for Florida State and the Seminoles. McManus will start, but we could see Eric Thomas. We could see Chip Ferguson. We even could see Kirk Coker. Of course, what Bobby Bowden is hoping for is that McManus will be successful and go all the way. Date back to receive. Number 22 for Auburn is Brent Fullwood. He is playing with a sore knee today. He stands in the middle of the field.
I really didn't think we'd see Fullwood today, Bob. Didn't play at all last week against Mississippi and has not practiced all this week. But you can tell the adrenaline is flowing. I think anyone that's close to being ready to play is going to be on the field today.
Over on the right wing, you saw number 20, Shan Morris. For Auburn. Here's the kickoff. Barco hits it deep into the end zone. Fullwood wisely elects not to return the ball, and the Auburn Tigers will go on offense. First down 10 from their own 20-yard line as Pat Washington goes onto the field for the Auburn Tigers. In the backfield, the leading candidate for the Heisman Trophy, 815 yards rushing on the year, net rushing yardage, Bo Jackson. Tommy Agee, the great blocker at fullback. Weigand and Gaines are the wideouts, and the H-back playing in the tight end position, number 87, Ron Middleton. We'll talk about that tight end H-back situation as we go. Wallace Lott, Tamburello, Cowart Cyril, the offensive line, and Jeff Parks, the tight end, number 82. He alternates with the H-back. On the first down, it's Bo Jackson. 7 yards to the 27. Let's look at the Seminole defense, and you can see what their job is going to be today, and that is to stop Bo Jackson. The down linemen, Williams, Stroud, and Nichols. Isaac Williams, perhaps the best athlete of that group. The linebackers are excellent. Fred Jones and McGowan, the heart and soul in the middle. Warren and Jacks on the outside. Warren starting in place of Darrell Gray today. In the backfield, Shiver and Newell make most of the tackles, and Mayhew and Eric Williams will start at the corners. We'll also see freshman Deion Sanders in. It is second down 3 for the Tigers. And they hand off to the fullback, Agee, who does not get the first down. He gets about a yard and is stopped at the 28-yard line by number 71, nose guard Todd Stroud.
Bob, Auburn started first play with an unbalanced line into the sideline. They also, instead of lining up Middleton, the H-back, to the opposite side, away from the tight end, he lined up on the tight end side. There are only 2 men to the left of the football, ran it into the sideline. So look for a little bit more unbalanced line from this Auburn football team.
Third down 2. Auburn, opening series of the game.
Here it is again, Bob, unbalanced line.
Pitch, Bo Jackson. Gets the first down by about a yard, running off the left side behind Steve Wallace. He was tripped up by the left side quarterback, Martin Mayhew, number 32. Penalty marker on the field. Let's watch that line again.
Watch that line work. So Agee leading the way. Jackson dives for the first down. Yan Cowart, number 53, hustling to get downfield. It's a first down.
There's Bill Goss, the referee, who we understand is not wearing a microphone today, so we won't hear him. But that was a personal foul against Florida State, a very big penalty because it is tacked on 15 yards after the foul. It is moved to the 48-yard line.
Goodbye. Personal foul defense, 15 yards, is first down.
Well, there you go.
He doesn't need a microphone. He's good, isn't he?
What a voice, huh? He's doing that without a microphone. Nice work, Bill. Referee Bill Goss, who, as you can see, is, in fact, wearing a microphone, and now we have that settled. First down 10. Tigers from the 48-yard line of Auburn. Aided by the 15-yard personal foul penalty. Washington's first pass, a short hopper. He's looking out for 14, Freddie Weigand. Pat Washington has an excellent arm, but he certainly didn't get that one underway very well. He goes 0 for 1. It'll be second down 10.
It's the second first down situation they've had. They're now 50% on first down, 1 run, 1 pass. Weigand was open. He had Eric Williams turned. Washington just needs to deliver the ball on time.
Second down 10 from the 48-yard line. Parks and Lee-Mark Sellers in at the double tight end positions now. No H-back in the game on this play for Auburn. Out of the eye. Bo Jackson hit behind the line, breaks tackle, 3 tackles. He's gone. Touchdown Auburn. yards on that run for Bo Jackson. He has 64 on the day. In for the point after, number 2, Chris Johnson. And with less than 2 minutes gone in the ball game, Auburn draws first blood. Point after's good. That was Bo Jackson's 35th career TD, tying him with Joe Cribbs for the best in Auburn history. We'll be back in just a moment. This is Turner Network Television.
You know you can do the job. All you need is a chance. Look what the Air Force Reserve can offer. Good pay and benefits, technical training in a variety of fields, and more education with the new Reserve GI Bill and the Community College of the Air Force. All for 2 weeks a year and 1 weekend a month. Today's Air Force Reserve, a great way to serve.
We've got what it takes, true value. We've got what it takes. We've got what it takes to make it easy. We've got what it takes to make it good.
During October, get a Master Mechanic drill bit set with selector case for just $8.88. Look for the True Value of the Month banner at participating True Value hardware stores.
We've got what it takes, true value.
Here's the 53-yard touchdown run again.
You saw Middleton just clear your screen to the right. He's double teaming with Parks up on top. Good block by Wallace and AG, and now the rest is Bo Jackson. Defensive back coming over here, Mayhew. What you have to think is grab a piece of the jersey. You're not going to get him on the ground. Slow him up long enough so you can get some help. When Jackson's in the open field, though, he's got the power to run over you, the quickness to avoid you. It's a tough play.
Bo Jackson has now scored 9 touchdowns on the season. And he's also, you didn't know this, but he's also a scholarship cheerleader. Working while the defense is out there in the special teams. 20 Ross, 44 Wells are back. In the back of the end zone, Florida State won't run it out. They'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. Scoring drive, 80 yards, 5 plays. The 53-yard TD run by Jackson, the obvious key play on the drive, aided by a 15-yard personal foul penalty on the prior play against 2 plays prior to that against Florida State. So here come the Seminoles now. They will be led by number 14, Danny McManus, a sophomore, who has played very well, but in the 2 games we've seen of Florida State has had a rough time physically. He is 6'1", 185. He's had 2 concussions this year. Tony Smith and Cletus Jones start in the backfield. 49 Smith, the tailback. 42 Jones, the fullback. First down 10 from the 20. Seminoles undefeated on the year. So reverse, Hassan Jones has it wide. No, he's going to throw. It's incomplete. He was looking for number 24, Darren Holloman. Hassan Jones had it wide open for a long run, but obviously the play called was a receiver pass option, and Hassan Jones threw it. The receiver, intended receiver, Holloman, covered very well. There you see the backfield. We've talked about all of them. The offensive line for Florida State, very good. Ionata and Dukes, very strong. Pat Tomberlin at 320 pounds, the right guard. He is a freshman. Lopez playing well also, and Pat Carter, a very good blocker at tight end. Pete Patton will trade off with Pat Carter. Pete Patton in the game right now, and he wears number 96. Second down, 10. Seminoles. McManus. Tony Smith has some running room. To the 50-yard line. Tony Smith on the right side screen. 74 Rocker with the tackle. 30 yards.
This is something you've not seen much from Florida State this year. They've used a quick screen package, but not a slow developing screen like this. Auburn blitzing inside. Smith makes the catch. Now it's just running clean. Good hustle by the downfield receivers. Like Jamie Dukes hustling to get into this picture. We've got another barn burner on our hands, Bob. This is going to be one of those ones just like the last 2 years.
Last year, 42-41 Auburn was the score. There were 52 first downs and over 1,000 yards in offense. On the first down, McManus. It's complete for another first down to the 37-yard line. Pete Patton is tackled. And the Auburn defense is going to have to stop the passing game of Florida State. That was a 12-yard rush. 3 down linemen are Rocker, Hallman, and Williams. Robinson and Thomas, key men on the outside, particular Robinson. He's a good pass rusher. Powell and Johnson are the safeties. Porter and Warren, there are the linebackers. McCurdy McCurdy and Corin. And we understand that Edward Phillips will be playing a lot. Johnson and Powell at the safety. And it is Tom Powell who is down on the field, the injured player for the Auburn Tigers. Number 9.
Tommy Powell, you see Tommy lying on the ground there. They're looking at his thigh. He's the third, tied for third in the nation with interceptions with 4, total of 4, and he's really the quarterback of that secondary. They were going to do a couple things a little bit differently in this game, and I think they need Tommy Powell playing in order to pull off any changes.
See if we can see the play that resulted in his injury. There he is making the tackle on Panton, number 9. Difficult to see what happened. Good form tackle. He looks like he's okay right now. Already there's been 100 yards of total offense in this game. So it is first down. Florida State. Looks like Powell's okay. We'll keep a close eye on that young man as we go along. First down 10, Florida State at the 36-yard line of Auburn. Auburn has already scored on a 53-yard Bo Jackson run. Picked off number 41, Pat Thomas, the defensive right end, really an outside linebacker. Almost picked it off, a senior from Mobile, but almost didn't count. It'll be second down.
Just a quick pass trying to suck the linebackers in. Almost an option type of play, Bob. I think probably the read is read the weak linebacker. If the weak linebacker is taking away that slant pattern, then go ahead and pitch it back to the tailback, who is right now flaring out to the right.
Hassan Jones was open on that play. Also, Powell, number 9, free safety, back in for Auburn. It is second down, 10 Seminoles. Holloman in motion. McManus. Plenty of time. Look at the coverage. McManus thrown for a loss. Number 99 with a tackle, Nate Hill. That's his second tackle of the day. Loses about 2 yards on that play also. Check that. He gets a 2-yard gain on the play. There's the Tigers. As we've told you, they lead the league in total defense.
Just an awesome performance last week against Mississippi. Mississippi had first downs, and their 2 first downs their first 3 plays, and after that it was minus yardage.
Third down 8 from the 34-yard line. Tony Smith, first down to the 19-yard line. Tom Powell with the tackle. Gain of 16 yards by Tony Smith, the Florida State tailback. There's one of your great game coaches, Bobby Bowden. I think he would probably enjoy coaching without a game plan sometimes.
And he'll call a lot of things on the run. He works a lot from feel, and if he thinks it's time for something, he'll throw it in there. He'll interrupt the play flow of Wayne McDuffie, the offensive coordinator, and pump in something that he might like at that particular time.
Seminoles knocking on the door, trailing 7-0, 11:06 to go, quarter number 1. McManus. Holloman. Nice cut. And he drives to the 9-yard line. Close to a first down. As you watch this Holloman catch, remember, he is so little. He's 5'7". They tell the officials, don't call him down until you see his knee. Runs with 3 legs, meaning 1 more arm.
Often today, you'll see him in possession of the football go down just like he did there and regain his balance. He has got the quickest feet that I've seen all year long, and he'd really be difficult to cover in a one-on-one situation this close in.
Florida State Seminoles with a second down 1 at the 9-yard line. It's actually about a foot to go. And I think there's a confusion about the substitutions here. A couple of men came in, a couple went out. They looked confused on the sideline. McManus checked it over, intelligently called a timeout, goes to the sideline. We'll be back in a moment to Jordan-Hare Stadium. 10:20 to go, quarter number 1. Auburn leads 7-0.
Not so very long ago, the average 4-cylinder engine looked something like this. But these days, 4-cylinder engines look a little more like this. That's why we developed new Valvoline 4-Guard motor oil, specially formulated to protect today's harder-working, more complex 4-cylinder engines. And it won't break down, even after 7,500 miles. Times have definitely changed. So maybe it's time to change your oil to new Valvoline 4-Guard.
You can't have it all. Who and leave it too. Who says you can't taste it all without it telling on you? Michelob Light. Oh, yes, you can. Michelob Light. Oh, yes, you can.
Michelob Light. Super premium taste in a less filling beer.
Michelob Light. Oh, yes, you can. Have it all.
So the Florida State Seminoles have an offense, too. Everybody's known that. Last year in losing, they even outgained Auburn. Here they have driven from their 20 to the 9-yard line of Auburn. It is second down 1. Double tight ends are Carter and White. Fullback Cletus Jones, penalty marker down. Jones got the first down. Flag on the play. Gerald Williams, 98, with the tackle for Auburn.
Williams and Thomas make the stop for Auburn.
May it be against Auburn. Offsides, Tigers.
Bob, last week Auburn's defense was terrifically aggressive. They just dominated Mississippi. And I think what's happening here is Bowden's trying to slow down that momentum a little bit. He's taking the ball to the air and slowing down that defensive charge. He's going to get them thinking a little bit more about pass rush, about screen draw. And in that way, I think he's setting them up to run the ball a little bit later in the game.
That's the call, offsides against Auburn. They, of course, take the penalty. It gives them the first down and more yardage inside the 5 to the 4. First and goal.
First and goal for Florida State inside the Auburn 5.
10-13 to go, quarter number 1. Auburn leads 7-0 on a 53-yard Bo Jackson touchdown run. Seminoles come firing back. Tony Smith, reverse, Holloman. Has it wide open. Touchdown, Florida State. Gotta love the play calling of Bobby Bowden and his coaches.
I'm sure Wayne McDuffie and he spend a lot of time talking these things over. This is a risky call for a coach, because if it doesn't work, you really can look silly. The nice thing about Bowden, I think, especially when he's on the road, he's going to take chances, and he knows that he's got to score touchdowns, got to take advantage of every scoring opportunity he has against this Auburn football team.
Eric Smith with a point after attempt. It's good. We have a tie ball game. 5 minutes and 6 seconds have elapsed in this game. Both teams have scored 7-7. We got another barn burner on our hands at Jordan-Hare Stadium. This is Turner Network Television.
Delta gets you there.
We're Delta Airlines.
We love the things we do. We do them all to please you.
These Delta singers, representing over 38,000 pros worldwide, are singing out a new message.
Anytime, Delta gets you there.
Four-cylinder engines have changed. They work harder than ever, even when they're just idling. But watch this. Even after 7,500 miles at top speed in a four-cylinder engine, new Valvoline 4-Guard motor oil showed no significant breakdown. None. New Valvoline 4-Guard. It helps your four-cylinder engine keep up the hard work.
So the Seminoles have tied this game at 7-7, fourth ranked in the country. Auburn ranked 12th. Last year it was 42-41, and Tim, already they're just piling up stats.
5 first downs for Florida State, 5 first down opportunities, 3 passes, and 2 reverses. And that's not what I call conservative play calling. How about you, Bob?
And no kickoff returns. That one goes into the end zone again. Brent Fullwood just touches it down, and here comes Auburn again as they'll set it up first down 10 at their own 20, and that's where we started when the game began.
Well, Pat Dye just spent the last 3 minutes circling the wagons down there with his defense, and he was trying to get a little bit of excitement, a little bit of emotion into them. And I think at this point what they need is some poise. Because this game is not all emotion, it's not all aggressive, it's not all upfield. You got to think sometimes.
2 80-yard drives. Both teams started at their 20 and clickety-click down the field. First down, 10 Tigers. Here comes Bo Jackson. Penalty marker's down. Jackson gets about 3. Penalty marker was thrown at the line of scrimmage. from the defensive backfield. Fred Jones, 55, with a tackle. Bill Goss calls holding against Auburn. I might mention that Florida State and Auburn have just signed a new agreement to continue this series that's developed of recent years into a fiery series. Florida State will be replacing Georgia Tech on the Auburn schedule for many years into the future after next year. And it is a beautiful and natural rivalry.
Holding. Offense, 10 yards. Still first down.
Auburn is not a poor as football team as the Tennessee score would seem to indicate. They hurt themselves a lot earlier in the game by leaving the ball on the ground, fumbling the ball, but when they went right at Tennessee, they were successful. And I think that's what they're going to try to do today, mixing in a few play passes.
First down 20 from the 10, Auburn. Washington perhaps with an audible. Jackson runs left. They got him out there this time, loses 3. Leading tackler, 55, Fred Jones. Right in front of the Seminole cheering section, I might add. There are 10,000 Florida State fans here, 62,000 Tiger fans.
Good check off here by Pat Washington. Jackson has a little trouble getting started. Searles is pulling the other way, along with Cowart leading the way, but he tries to overextend and kind of trips, giving Jones time to get underneath and make the play. That's what you want to do with a great back, though. Get him running laterally. Keep him from turning upfield. Good hustle by Florida State's defense.
Second down, 22, Auburn. Jackson again, right up the middle, hit behind the line and stopped at the 9-yard line. You see 17 came away with the ball, Eric Williams, but it was after the whistle had sounded, and we will have third down, 21 for Auburn.
In a game like this, a running back earns the headlines in the papers. You're not going to see many out in the open 60-yard dashes in a game like this, I don't feel. Most of the running is going to be tough up inside, 4 and 5 yards, and you're going to take several shots each time you touch the football.
For most teams, an obvious passing situation, but Auburn's inside their 10, and Auburn has Bo Jackson. Let's see what Washington does. Gives it to number 30, fullback Tommy Agee. He's knocked down at the line of scrimmage. This Seminole defensive unit fired up after holding Auburn. You might, however, blame or credit Auburn with the biggest defensive play, and that was the holding call.
Watch this hole open and close here. You see Jeff Lott, number 66, trying to drive out Todd Stroud. Can't do it. Tries to pop back to the outside. And careful, Stanley, Shiver. You get called for spearing in that situation.
Seminoles will go after the punt. Lewis Colbert's one of the best in the country at punting, however. Here they come. He gets it away. Deion Sanders back to take the punt, but it goes out of bounds. Up near midfield. It was a beautiful punt off the foot of Lewis Colbert. 43 yards out of his end zone under intense pressure. Colbert averaging 48.2 yards per punt coming into this game, but did not punt at all last week, and thus may not be listed among the nation's leaders, as he's had only 16 so far this year. So Florida State gets it at their own 48 with excellent field position, tied 7-7, 7:14 to go, quarter number 1.
Auburn is nicked up front. Hill and Hallman all have little nagging problems that are limiting their mobility. Same with Robinson. You can expect Andre Bruce to get a lot of play for Gerald Robinson today.
In the backfield, 42 Jones at fullback, 49 Smith the tailback. This is Tony Smith. Big hole to the 40-yard line, first down, and inside the 40. 42 Gary Kelly, sophomore from Birmingham, making the stop. Gary Kelly listed as the third team outside linebacker, mentioning Tim about the mix-ups. We'll see some substitutes and quite a few for Auburn defensively.
This is the healthiest Florida State has been all year. They've been damaged and players hurt ever since they came to camp in the fall. But right now, everyone is healthy, with the exception of Sammy Smith, who's got a bad ankle, but he wouldn't have been a big factor today.
Tony Smith, right side. Hit behind the line. Excellent tackle. Number 94, Harold Hallman, right up the middle. Excellent penetration. That's the way you stop the good backs, and that's pick them off with penetration while they're going east and west and before north and south.
They've shown 3 different reverse looks. Hassan Jones threw the first one. That could have been a run for 20 yards. That last one, they faked the reverse, and the reverse looked like it was there. Auburn needs to talk over their containment when the flow goes away.
Second down, 13 Auburn. Victor Floyd in at tailback now. He's number 27. McManus going upstairs, looking deep. Incomplete at the 3-yard line. He was trying to find Hassan Jones. Excellent coverage by number 3, Kevin Porter. Hassan Jones, a preseason All-American candidate, was injured in the first game against Tulane, missed a couple, is still playing off a shoulder injury.
A little fake toss, just trying to get that cornerback to take a few steps to the inside, but Porter is really playing disciplined football back at his cornerback position. They didn't fake him out on the reverse pass, and he stuck right with Hassan Jones there. He knows his job is to shut off number 88, and he's got his hands full.
Third down, 13 Seminoles. Number 20, Keith Ross, just into the game. He's a freshman. First down. What a run by Keith Ross after catching the right side screen. Ross, a youngster from Newberry, Florida, a pure freshman. 14 yards on the play. He took a lot of punishment after the reception.
Fine run here by Keith Ross. Third and 13, you're almost looking for a draw or screen. They come with the screen. Auburn hustling to try to get into the flow of the play, but lineman out front did a nice job. And then watch Ross struggle. He did not make it. And he wouldn't have made it if he hadn't struggled past that third hit.
At the 29-yard line of Auburn. Hand off to the fullback, Cletus Jones, inside the 25 to the 24-yard line. And you're going to see the results of a great recruiting year for Florida State today with Victor Floyd and Keith Ross and so many of the freshmen. When Florida went on probation, Florida State got a lot of the good Florida athletes, and Auburn and Florida State had perhaps 2 of the best 5 recruiting years in the nation last year.
Pat Dye on the sideline, obviously concerned about Florida State's ability to move the ball in his defense early in the game.
Second down, 6. Exactly at the 25-yard line of Auburn. Tie game, 7-7. Closing moments first quarter. It's complete to Darren Holloman for a first down inside the 20 at the 18-yard line. And Danny McManus rifled that little short out pattern for the first down.
He's a tough little fellow to hook up with man-to-man. I mean, his feet are moving all the time like he was standing in an ant pile. He's just always hustling, and he's difficult. He's got such great quickness to cover man-to-man. What they have to do is they have to get him some help out there, at least the perception of some help, Bob. Line a linebacker out there and then bring him back in.
First and 10 Seminoles at the 17. Here's Tony Smith. Nothing going. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. Number 52, Ben McCurdy, one of the tacklers on the play. Initial tackle made by number 98, Gerald Williams, and he's perhaps the best athlete on the defensive line. Let's watch the senior from Valley, Alabama.
Nice job. He tries to close the hole from the outside, gets knocked off his feet, but continues to scrap and crawl, gets there to make the play. Good hustle, Gerald. Grew up just 15 miles from here.
42 Jones out and 44 Wells in at fullback for the Seminoles on second down 10. Pressure. Screen. Catch by Wells. To the 10-yard line. 2 yards shy of the first down goes Chuck Wells, the sophomore from Jacksonville. 45 Warren, number 9 Powell with the tackles.
This is more classic Florida State offense. The quick screen, Bob. Weak side of the formation to the wide side of the field. You run the split end on a slant. If the linebacker doesn't get in and shut it off, dump it right now to the fullback. Good play by Jimmy Warren hanging on there, or Wells could have gone in.
Very big conversion play for both sides. Third down 2 at the 10 of Auburn. Tie game 7-7. McManus on the option. Tony Smith. First down by about a yard. Number 3 Porter with the tackle. There's that varied Florida State offense. McManus on the option play that time to tailback Tony Smith, who's having himself a good game. He has 26 yards and 5 carries.
They're going to measure for this one. If he makes it, it was a great effort by Smith, but Pat Carter fought his way through and really stuck with the man he was blocking there to give Smith the room to get that first down.
Oh, it is so very close. Watch this. If we can get him to move his foot. What do you call it? It's first down. Oh.
A game of inches?
Centimeters in this case. Now there's the Florida State Seminole mascot you just saw. A lot of people think that's our director, Chuck Fouts, but it is the Seminole mascot.
Yeah.
Chuck Fouts, did I say?
That's okay.
Well, there's the last.
If you're going to offend him, you might as well go all the way.
Of course, Ken Fouts, our director. There's my last time to be on camera. First down and goal from the 8 for Florida State. It's a reverse. It's a fake reverse, Victor Floyd, but Auburn has been going to school, and they stopped the fake reverse, and Victor Floyd goes down at the line of scrimmage. Number 9, Tom Powell from Greenville, Alabama, with the tackle.
Now that time, Tommy Powell lined up in a bump and run position against Darren Holloman, a wide receiver. Tommy Powell is usually a free safety. Warren coming back into the football game. Powell coming out.
Actually a loss of yardage on the play. They move it back about a half a yard. Now it's Tony Smith and Keith Ross in the backfield. Ross incomplete. Good pressure by Auburn. 2:34 to go, first quarter, and there's the freshman Keith Ross. It's tied at 7. Seminoles knocking on the door again.
If you're FSU in this situation, what you want to do is you want to isolate Holloman and Hassan Jones and just let them work man-to-man. Pick a side and let them take on the cornerbacks man-to-man.
Florida State 3 out of 3 on third down conversions. Oh my, this is a big one. Third and goal from the 8. And let's watch them. McManus with a bobbled snap from center Dave Schwenker.
You know what they had on, Bob? Quick screen to the flanker. Watch those linemen scooting out of your picture right away. See them going? It's a quick screen to the flanker. Jones was backing up. They were going to try to pop him out there and let him sift his way through the defenders, but got to get the ball from the center first.
One of the best kickers in the country, number 18, sophomore Derek Schmidt. Kurt Coker holds. 28-yard attempt. Is no good. It is no good. The game remains tied. We'll be back to Jordan Hare right after this.
Four-cylinder engines have changed. They work harder than ever, even when they're just idling. But watch this. Even after 7,500 miles at top speed in a four-cylinder engine, new Valvoline 4-Guard motor oil showed no significant breakdown. None. New Valvoline 4-Guard. It helps your four-cylinder engine keep up the hard work.
Comes a time when you deserve the best, yeah. Standing out apart from all the rest, yeah.
Of all the discerning people who buy Buicks, more buy Century than any other.
Century, you know that you belong, yeah. Century, keeps rolling right along, yeah.
Head into the future in this century. The Buick Century.
Wouldn't you really rather have a Buick?
Schmidt had been perfect from this distance. Let's see what went awry.
This is what you call a shank.
He knew it.
From the moment he hit it, he knew it. Remember we talked about Bob running reverses down in close, and sometimes it can backfire on you. That's kind of what happened on that particular series of plays. Florida State lost a play really with that reverse.
Bobby Bowden may have gone with that reverse well once too often. As you said, Tim, if it works, he's a hero, and if it doesn't, guys like you and I can say, maybe he went to the well once too often. On first down, Auburn, Pat Washington, under pressure, dumps it out incomplete. It'll be second down 10. And look at that one. A good one happening at Gainesville. Tennessee and Florida tied in the second quarter. We'll be seeing Tennessee, Alabama on many of these TNT stations next week in Birmingham.
Florida State defensively, Mickey Andrews chose a safety blitz. They were in man-to-man coverage on the outside, even bump and run down here.
Look at that, 8 first downs for Florida State, but now this is only the second time Auburn's had a chance to really run at it, the third time, so those stats will definitely go up on a 2nd and 10. Now Bo Jackson hit at the line of scrimmage. Bo Jackson on his third run from the line of scrimmage, ripped off 53 yards for a touchdown. Since then has been bottled up. Let's go to Atlanta for a college football update from our studios.
Thank you, Bob. It was North Carolina State 10-0 over Pittsburgh when John Conjimmy throws the option pitch to Charles Gladman. He sweeps left for the score. The point after was good. Pittsburgh narrows it to North Carolina State 10, Pittsburgh 7. Back to you, Bob.
By the way, Alec Hawkins, Don Shula was talking to Tim Foley last week and had a compliment, did he not?
Right, he said that he couldn't believe how distinguished you look, Hawk.
Alec, a former player of Don Shula's in Baltimore, at Washington. It's picked off. Number 17, Eric Williams. Touchdown, Florida State. Oh, my. 19-yard return intended for 82, Jeff Parks. Williams picks it off and takes it into pay dirt. His second interception of the year. And Auburn's turnover problems continue to plague them. They are last in the league in turnovers. One after is good.
We're going to see this in a moment. Pat Washington sets up. Primary receiver was covered, went to a secondary receiver. Now you can see it. Good pass rush by Shavers. Work around the outside. Nichols up the middle. And here comes the ball. Nice reaction on the ball by Eric Williams, who made a big interception in the Kansas game as it wound down to preserve a victory. Williams comes up with another big play for the defense. And FSU extends its lead.
Sophomore Eric Williams from Safety Harbor, Florida. He is certainly not a safe harbor for opposing quarterbacks. That's rough water out there. Pat Dye wondering what he can do about the turnovers.
Plenty of time in a football game. 14-7, and traditionally in this game we'll hold up for a couple of minutes maybe.
A 30-point lead might be safe in this game, but last year Auburn had a 16-point lead and saw it melt away before they held on for the 42-41 tie, 42-41 victory. 1:09 to go, quarter number one. That's the, I'm just adding these up, Tim Foley. That is the 10th interception on the year in only 4 games and 1 quarter thrown by the 3 Auburn quarterbacks.
It's amazing when we first talked to Mickey Andrews and Bobby Bowden about their defense. When you mentioned the secondary, they broke out in hives. They were so nervous because they didn't have anybody that ever played there before. And Martin Mayhew has really come on. Deion Sanders, a strong backup. And, of course, Eric Williams played last year, has played well.
Fullwood's going to return this one, number 22, on the right side. To the 20-yard line goes Brent Fullwood, where Auburn now trailing in the game, 14-7. Funny game, football. Auburn puts together a very good drive, stalls at the 10, at the 11, misses a 28-yard field goal attempt, Florida State, I should say. Then they come right back and get the touchdown, where you at least expect it on an interception. And there's a young man under pressure. 3 quarterbacks here at Auburn, Washington, Berger, Walden, all have started during the year. Washington tabbed to start the last 2 games, and now he's thrown his 4th interception of the season.
I wouldn't say that was his fault, though, Bob. That was an excellent play by Eric Williams.
Penalty marker on the field.
Confusion in the Auburn offense. It seems as though Reggie Ware was going to replace Tommy Agee on that series, and he wasn't in the football game. He only had 10 men on the field.
Florida State almost had a problem with that previously and called timeout. McManus called timeout at this spot, but Washington didn't know. Bo Jackson says, "Wait, give me some help back here."
It's unfortunate. It's only 14-7. There's been a lot happening here, though, in the first quarter, and you could feel a lot farther behind than 14-7. The idea here now is to just relax. We moved the ball, and the first time we had it, we moved the ball right down the field and scored. Let's just go back to our game plan, folks. No big deal. Our defense will get their act together. They'll be able to shut down Florida State. Let's score some points.
You see Pat Washington talking to the coaches on the sideline. He is 0 for 3 today. Bo Jackson just moved up in the Auburn career rushing stats. Past Joe Cribbs to number 2 behind James Brooks.
got
what running backs they've had here.
two great coaches going after each other today. Bobby Bowden is 11th on the winningest active coaches list, and Pat Dye is number 13. So they're both fine coaches. Dye has got an accelerated success program going here at Auburn since he arrived in 1981.
Bo Jackson on the first down. About 8 yards. Bo Jackson on student body left. Bo Jackson with 69 yards on the day now. It was McGowan and Nichols. 38 McGowan, the real star at linebacker for Florida State, and he'll be looking after number 34 all day long.
Nice play by Alfonso Williams. He strung the play out, permitted Jackson from turning it upfield. And the corner is what you've got to protect with a guy like Jackson. If he gets there and turns up, now you've got big, big trouble.
They're giving Jackson 7 yards on the previous play. It'll be 2nd down 3 with 23 seconds to go the first quarter. Hand off to the fullback. And number 36, Reggie Ware, gets the first down to the 31. They stop the clock there with 16 seconds to go in quarter number 1.
The fullback position has really been overlooked as an offensive weapon on this Auburn team, but gee whiz, AG has averaged over 5 yards a carry, and Reggie Ware, he's a kind of a running mountain. He's 6'3", 245 pounds. They say he runs a 4.6, and I wouldn't volunteer to get in his way. I don't know about you. Auburn has the guns. They have the weapons. The idea is to get them pointed at the enemy.
And that's the end of the first quarter. Bo Jackson finishes the first quarter with 68 yards and 153-yard touchdown run, but Florida State leads 14-7. This is Turner Network Television.
That's great. When I needed a new chainsaw, I went right to a Poulin dealer.
That's Poland.
Feature for feature, dollar for dollar, it's hard to beat a Poulin.
Poland.
And a Poulin dealer can help you pick just the right saw for the job. Seems a saw this good deserves a dealer this good. So, when you're looking for a tough, dependable chainsaw, look for a dealer that sells Poland.
Poland.
That's what I said, Poland.
You said Poland?
Ask them.
Poland, America's chainsaw.
For the average renter, the 5-door Mercury Lynx has plenty of room. And it's only $29.95 a day. At budget. But budget has another car. One that's more my style. The Lincoln Town Car. Look at this headroom. And even us big shots like budget small price. Only $39.95 a day. Get the economy of luxury. Or the luxury of economy. Go to budget and say, the car. Or the car.
Today's game is brought to you in part by Buick and your local Buick dealers. For comfort, innovation, and a real commitment to quality, it's today's Buick.
You know, I'm glad you got back here, Bob. I was a little bit worried about it. My friend here just was learning how to speak Russian this week. He was over getting ready to do some work over there.
In Moscow, the Soviet Union, for a week as we prepare for the Goodwill telecast on many of these TNT stations next summer. It is good to be at Auburn, Alabama this Saturday afternoon. Bo Jackson, flag on the play. Jackson down at the 34. First play of the second quarter, Florida State leading 14-7. This is Bob Neal with Tim Foley. As you look at our first quarter statistics, and it's been mostly FSU after that first drive by Auburn with the 53-yard run by Jackson. And Tim, if you take away the Jackson run, penalties offside Seminoles, take away the Jackson run for the touchdown, and FSU has really stuffed Auburn thus far.
They've done a nice job, but the next, Auburn hasn't had the ball that much, really. The next series, they started off with a holding penalty, which put them in the hole. They were deep in their own territory. They couldn't try anything fancy. The idea is just punt it and hold FSU.
Defense lined up offsides, 5 yards, still first down.
You heard the explanation there. Excuse me, referee Bill Goss.
During the game, we're going to show you this Auburn unbalanced line. That time they lined up in it again. Both tight ends to the wide side of the field, and Searles was the last man on the line of scrimmage.
First down 5 from the 36-yard line of Auburn, trailing 14-7. Jackson to the 39-yard line, a couple of yards short of the first down. Jesse Solomon, number 57, from the linebacker position, a senior from Madison, Florida, with the stop for the Seminoles.
And I think that's what Jack Crow would like to do on every play. just run Jackson up in there, run Ware up in there, and AG up in there, and Fullwood and Stewart, and they've got a lot of horses in their stable, and just control the football. You keep Florida State's offense off the field.
8 carries in this game for Bo Jackson. They wondered how many times he could carry out of the eye. He said as many times as you want. 50 a game, fine. Had 108 coming into the game. There he was hit by 57 again. Jesse Solomon still struggled forward, but he's going to not get much of a gain on the play, if any. They spotted inside the 40. It will be 3rd down and about 1 for Auburn.
What's that line strike out there? You see Terry Warren. He's getting his 2nd start. Started against Kansas last week. And Jesse Solomon penetrating through the gap, making contact beyond the line of scrimmage. He's a senior from Madison, Florida. 240-pound linebacker. He's a load.
Now it's A.G. Ware and Jackson. 3rd down 1. This is power football. Jackson stopped. He dived forward. They put the ball just inches outside the 40-yard line, but it will be shy of the 1st down. And 57, Jesse Solomon with 3 tackles in a row. They put that 240-pound man mountain in there and said, look up number 34.
I think that you can afford to be a lot more aggressive on defense when you've got corners like Mayhew and Williams and Sanders. They're good man-to-man coverage people. They don't need that undercover help from a linebacker like some other corners do, and that lets Mickey Andrews turn his team loose a little bit more.
Auburn's going to go for it. 4th down, 1 yard. Penalty markers everywhere. Confusion at the line of scrimmage.
We saw this before. It was merely a shift by Auburn, just a ploy to try to draw Florida State offside. And it worked.
Here's Bill Goss, illegal procedure, Florida State. And the trick worked, Tim.
But the quarterback probably, he gets under there and he just says, hut, and instead of running a play, they shift. And you have to be an awful disciplined defensive lineman not to move when you see feet moving on the other side of the line.
On the defense, contact before the snap. It's a 1st down.
We saw Alabama do the same thing against Vanderbilt. It didn't work for them, but it certainly worked for Auburn. It may have appeared as though they were in motion. They were simply shifting to another set.
1st down 10 Auburn from the 45. Here's Brent Fullwood. He's wide open to the 31-yard line. Greg Newell with a tackle. Jackson out. Fullwood is playing on a sore knees in there. And Fullwood averages nearly 9 yards a carry. He can scat it. That's a 25-yard romp right there.
I'm not sure the Florida State coaches like to see Jackson out of the football game. I think they're just as afraid of Brent Fullwood as they are of Bo Jackson. When you talk to Jim Gladden and Mickey Andrews, they really respect that young man's ability and his intensity. Came into the Tennessee game when it was all over and just kept sticking it on up in there.
11:58 to go, 2nd quarter. Florida State 14, Auburn 7. Tigers on the move. Fullwood to the 29 and hit hard. Initial hit by 55 Jones. Fullwood's the junior from St. Cloud, Florida. He has 26 yards and 2 carries. Jackson, by the way, on the day, 10 carries, 74 yards. Pat Dye picking up a gray hair every now and then. And if you're in this business, it's impossible not to.
You know, it's much more fun rebuilding a program than it is trying to hang on to a #1 rating. A lot more pressure.
2nd down 9, Auburn at the 29 of Florida State. Here's Fullwood, tripped up, still gets about 5 or 6. But it was 57 Solomon who went over to trip him up way back there at the line of scrimmage. Solomon limping off the field, by the way, on the far sideline. The substitute who had come in and played so well.
He's going to go over and talk to young Don Falls, trainer of 29 years at Florida State.
They say Solomon has the most ability of all the inside linebacking candidates. That's ahead of McGowan, ahead of Jones, but he just never moved forward. He had some academic problems he had to work on. Just now getting into playing shape. 3rd down 4 Auburn. The fullback Ware. Oh, he's a truckload, close to the 1st down at the 20. Takes his 240 pounds forward. It's a game for men in the trenches today, Tim.
It really is, Bob. You get Tamburello and Lott blowing out on you along with Yan Cowart, and you give the ball to a guy that weighs almost 250 pounds. He's going to gain some yardage.
You look at Solomon. That's a re-injury of a previous knee injury. He runs a 4.6 40, can vertical jump 33 inches. I mean, he has all kinds of athletic ability, and they need that young man in there. He had just been coming back from the academics and from the knee. You saw the measurement. It'll be 4th down and inches for Auburn. And they're going to go for it. They went for it earlier on this drive and made it. Thanks to a quick snap count, Florida State jumping offside. They'll be watching for that this time, but can they stop A.G., Ware, or Jackson? Jackson dives for the first down to the 19. Martin Mayhew, 32, with the credit for the tackle. How would you like to be in the middle of that? And Tim Foley, when you were the Dolphins, you saw this some from your backfield position.
Exactly. Defensive line for Florida State does a nice job. Auburn gets a little movement, however, it's hard to stop an athlete like that. He left the ground 1.5 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and before he was coming down, he was well beyond the first down marker. Look at that. Freddie Jones, penetration beyond the line of scrimmage. If he could just have held on, he might have had a chance to stop him, but it looked like Jackson already had the first down.
Auburn has rushed for 116 yards, has passed for none today. Jackson driving for about 3 tough ones on the right side, close to the 15. Pat Washington is 0 for 3 with 1 interception passing, but you don't have to pass a lot when you can run like Auburn does.
So you'll be accused of having a boring offense if you continue in this fashion, but it's consistent, it's powerful, and it can't hurt you. You won't shoot yourself in the foot. You'll end up scoring points, and it may not be as many as you'd like to score, but it's going to be enough to win the game usually, and it will keep your defense off the field.
Florida State 14, Auburn 7, 9:16 to go, quarter number 1. Tigers on the drive. Jackson, 53 of those 79 came in 1 touchdown run. Jackson again, hit behind the line. Knifing in, Alfonso Williams, number 26, another one of the freshmen on the Florida State football team.
Blitzing from his safety position, Bob. When they run that play, they run him, he gets penetration and then straight down the line of scrimmage. Someone else has containment. His job is to disrupt the timing of the play. Don't let the blocking develop, and that time he made the tackle.
We saw Alfonso Williams play very well in our Florida State-Memphis State telecast previously. Florida State 4-0, Auburn 3-1. Seminoles ranked 4th, Auburn ranked 12th. Seminoles lead 14-7. 3rd down 5 at the 14. Option play, Washington. Good speed. To the 4-yard line. First down, Auburn. 10-yard run by Pat Washington, 6'1", 200 pounds. Tim, Auburn has obviously solved something in their ability to move the ball. The last 3 drives they couldn't. This time they can.
Well, they're just running the football. They haven't had any penalties on this drive. They've just played mistake-free football, knocking off 4 and 5 yards at a crack.
Fullwood, A.G. Ware in the backfield. Fullwood. Denied the goal line. Martin Mayhew gets credit for the tackle.
In talking to Jack Crow, the offensive coordinator, he really felt that the personality of this team was more like that of a lineman. Just go right after people. None of the fancy schmancy stuff. Just let us take the ball to them. And that's what they're doing right now. And they've got a nice scheme going up front. Dye and Crow and the coaches have designed a nice scheme up front of blocking that gets them overloaded and sometimes out-manning Florida State's defense.
Oh, it's going to be good on the line of scrimmage this time. On the goal line, Reggie Ware. Behind Tamburello and Lott. Reggie Ware's 2nd touchdown of the year. Point after attempt by number 2, Chris Johnson, freshman from Spanish Fort, Alabama. Auburn continued to search for a stalwart kicker. Johnson very good on the point after touchdowns, and we have a tie game. It's Auburn 14, Florida State 14. 8 minutes, 11 seconds to go in the first half from Jordan-Hare Stadium. 85 degrees, partly cloudy. We'll be right back.
Who says you can't have it all? Who says you can't work overtime and take the time to enjoy it all?
Who says you can't have super premium taste and a less filling beer?
Michelob Light. Oh, yes, you can. Michelob Light. Oh, yes, you can. Michelob Light. Oh, yes, you can. Have it all.
Missile exercise, Caribbean.
Turning starboard outbound, over.
Most jobs promise you the world.
Birds away.
The Navy delivers. See your recruiter or call this number. Navy, it's not just a job, it's an adventure.
Minnesota trying to spoil Northwestern's homecoming. Quarterback Ricky Foggy to Valdez Baylor. For the touchdown, it's 14-0 Minnesota, but Northwestern is driving. Back to Bob and Tim.
So Brent Fullwood comes in for Bo Jackson and to some degree ignited the Auburn offense. They drive down, they convert 2 fourth downs, and Fullwood 35 yards in that drive.
Well, they split time on that drive. Fullwood coming in and providing the impetus for the second half of it, and he runs with fire. He explodes in there. And I tell you what, there's a lot of coaches that would like to have the luxury of going to the bench and finding someone like Brent Fullwood sitting there.
That drive took 8 minutes and 2 seconds. They're not going to run this one out. It comes down to 20 Keith Ross. There's the statistical information for you on the Auburn Tigers scoring drive. And Reggie Ware put the icing on the cake with his 1-yard drive. We might add, in addition to the 25-yard run by Fullwood, there was a good quarterback keeper by Pat Washington and 2 fourth down conversions. And hello to Eric Thomas, number 1. This is the first time behind quarterback for Thomas all year. He has been injured. He was the starter. McManus and Coker had moved ahead. And now we're going to see a little bit different look probably to the Florida State offense. And Tim will talk about it in a moment. 1st and 10 from the 20. Tied at 14. That's not too different. Nothing going on that one. Tony Smith tackled at the line of scrimmage by Gerald Williams. And what does this man, Eric Thomas, bring to this game, the senior?
I think what Bobby, you ever get a feeling about a player, Bob, or about a team? Bobby Bowden likes this young man as a leader. He started 8 games. They've won 7 times, the 7 of the 8 times that he's been underneath the center. And I think why he's interjecting him at this point is that he wants to get him some playing time this year. He doesn't want to use him for the first time with 3 minutes left to go in the 4th quarter.
2nd down 10. Eric Thomas in place of Danny McManus. Play fake, pumps, upstairs. Going to Philip Bryant, the deep threat. He catches it, and what an outstanding reception. Kevin Porter, number 3, covering. There's a little bumping, no flag. Philip Bryant, a freshman from Bainbridge, Georgia, with a reception from Thomas. They said Thomas couldn't throw long because of the injury.
Well, I think whoever said that was wrong. Pumps to the right side, and again, Kevin Porter all day long in good shape. He's in perfect position. The ball is thrown to the outside over his outside shoulder. There's a little bit of bumping going on there. Good concentration on the ball by Bryant. Makes the catch. Caught a 68-yarder to ignite Florida State in its comeback against Kansas last year, and just a nice job of keeping his eye on the ball.
Tied 14-all, 7:08 to go. 2nd quarter. Thomas down the middle. Incomplete, intended for Holloman. Oh, he was stuck hard at the 25-yard line by 46, Edward Phillips, 240-pound linebacker. You know, Florida State came in with 57 Solomon at 240 at linebacker. Auburn counters with Eddie Phillips.
And Eddie Phillips has made a lot of progress. Hadn't really seen much playing time until last week against Mississippi, and they just really like him. He's come on and really taken Ray Corrin's place as a starting linebacker.
Thomas 1 out of 2 throwing the ball now. McManus went out 6 out of 9 for 82 yards. This is 2nd down 10. Seminoles at the 30 of Auburn. Right up the middle, Cletus Jones to the 26-yard line. Russ Carricker, number 47, with a stop for Auburn. What a game we've got here, Tim.
You'll notice that Pat Thomas, remember we talked about getting those linebackers to line up a little bit wider, so at least it gave the perception of giving the cornerback some help on defense for Auburn, so that one-on-one situation wasn't so exposed. Thomas is lining up a little bit wider now and is in a position to help both Warren and Porter.
3rd and 6. Wells, Smith, and Bryant in the ball game from the 26-yard line. Eric Thomas hands off to Wells to the 25. Nothing going. Andre Bruce, number 93, with a stop for Auburn and the Auburn defense. After a 61-yard pass completion from Eric Thomas to Philip Bryant, has really closed the door on the Seminoles, and now we're going to have a field goal attempt here by Derek Schmidt. They will put the ball down at the 32. That means it is a 42-yard field goal attempt. Schmidt missed a 28-yarder earlier on the season. Coming into the game, he was 7 of 9. Bad snap. It's up. It's good. There's a penalty marker down. Great job by Kirk Coker on handling the bad snap, and a good follow-through by Schmidt. But hold it here. Let's see what the penalty is. It was 4th down 5. It looks like a long 5. I don't think it would have given them the first down anyway. It appeared to be offsides. We'll just hold here and check into their official, Bill Goss.
Defense lined up offsides. Field goal is good. The penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
Here's a great job by Kirk Coker on a fumbled snap.
The snap comes in low, keeps his composure, gets the ball down there. The kicker doesn't let it bother him, and he swings on through it. Beautiful job.
5:48 to go, first half. Florida State 17, Auburn 14. This is Turner Network Television.
Now with Castrol, the motor oil engineered for smaller cars, you'll save more than wear and tear on your engine. You'll save on Prestone antifreeze, Simonized wax, STP gas treatment, Purelator filters, and more. In every 12-pack of Castrol are rebates worth $45. So Castrol makes things easy on your budget while it makes things easy on your engine. The Castrol money-back 12-pack.
The faces of America. America's individuals. America's strength. American General Life and Accident has known the people of America for 82 years. Working closely with America's individuals is the only way our agents know to develop an insurance program which meets your needs. We believe in America's individuals. We are American General Life and Accident Insurance Company.
Last year, 43 Southeastern Conference football players qualified for the academic All-SEC squad, the most to make the honor roll since 1977. In order to qualify, an athlete must be at least a sophomore, a regular performer, and maintain a 3.0 average. That's a B in the classroom. Congratulations to those scholar athletes, some of the outstanding athletes on the Auburn team. There are more, but Jan Cowart, very good in the classroom. Kyle Collins, Jeff Parks, the tight end, Jamie Dukes, John Ionata, Dave Schrinker are all stars in the classroom, among some others, for Florida State. A lot of good student athletes out here on the field today, folks. Here's a good picture from our TBS Sports camera. You're the receiver. This view from the end zone. See if you can catch this one. No, you couldn't because it drove you out of the end zone, but a nice job handling the ball, folks. You and Brent Fullwood did a nice job on that. There's the scoring drive, 45 yards, 6 plays. The key was the long pass, the big play, the 50-yarder from Thomas to Bryant. 2 minutes, 23 seconds. The yardage isn't exactly correct on that, I don't think, because we had at least a 50-yard pass play in there. But nevertheless, you get the idea. They got a field goal out of it and lead 17-14. Auburn, Sellers 84, Reeves 86 in at tight end. And Bo Jackson on the right side across the 25 to the 26.
No half-speed steps on defense for Florida State. Every time that man touches the football, or Brent Fullwood for that matter, could be a score. So you've got to continue to hustle, maintain your lanes of pursuit, and get to the football. You know, And it's against, when you have a running back like that, a reverse is not a bad idea because teams are so concentrating so much on pursuing to the football and getting there that sometimes they'll forget their reverse responsibilities.
Second down for Auburn from the 26. Knocked out of bounds at the 29-yard line. Bo Jackson hit by number 40, Greg Newell. Newell still, I'm sure, in his mind making up for what you'd have to frankly call a missed tackle on that 53-yard touchdown run by Bo Jackson early in the game. That was enough for a first down. They move it out to the 31-yard line. Exactly 5 minutes to go in the first half.
When you've got a running back like Jackson, you also, when you get a shot, you like to try to put some leather on him and really put a hurt on him. And many times you'll miss a tackle in that fashion. The idea is grab a hold, get him on the ground, let the second and third man coming in punish him, try to tear the ball out.
And here's Brent Fullwood in place of Jackson, number 22. Not going to go this time, though. The toss is complete over on the right side, left side to Trey Gaines, number 19. And he's out of bounds at the 36-yard line. That is the first pass completion of the day for Pat Washington and Auburn. By the way, Fred Jones for Florida State, number 55, is out with a sprained knee for Florida State. Let's check on who's in there for him. We have McGowan at one of the linebacker positions, and we'll check the other one. This is a critical position for Florida State. Looks like number 46, Felton Hayes, a freshman. And that's correct. Hayes and McGowan, the linebackers. Second down for Auburn. Washington. Here it comes to 14, Freddie Waygan. He's got nothing but green grass. And number 40, Newell gets the block. Deion Sanders finally chases him down at the 10. Freddie Waygan, the sophomore from Gadsden, Alabama. And Pat Dye pulls a little Bobby Bowden on Bobby Bowden's Seminoles.
I think they're listening to the broadcast here, but we just got through talking about reverses, and here it comes. They're on play action back into the sideline, and here comes Waygan to the wide side. He's tooling down the sidelines here, and now he throttles back. He's waiting for the lineman to catch up. Jeff Lott shows up. He gets the sideline. If it's not for an excellent effort by Deion Sanders, he's got 6.
To the 9-yard line, a run of 55 yards. First down goal, Auburn. Bo Jackson avoids one tackle. Look at his change of direction to the 5. Folks, you are watching the leading Heisman Trophy candidate in Bo Jackson, and he's up close to 100 yards on the day, and we're not at halftime yet. He has 4 200-yarders on the year. Those are moves that you see only the great ones make, even though it was just a 5-yard run. Second down goal from the 5.
You have to be able to get some quick yardage on offense. You have to have some big play potential. I don't think they feel comfortable throwing the ball down on their side of the field, so they go to an alternative, a reverse.
A.G. Ware, Fullwood in the backfield. Fullwood hit hard. Fred Jones, 55, is back in despite his sore knee.
A good job by Stanley Shiver, again, on a safety blitz, slicing to the inside, turning that running back to the outside.
So it's a big play for Auburn here. After the 55-yard end around by Freddie Waygan, Seminole defense has stiffened, allowed 5 yards to Jackson, nothing on that play. It is third down goal from the 5 for Auburn. 17-14 Seminoles.
Last time down here, they came with the option. If they throw the ball, it's going to be crossing pattern to one of the tight ends.
You got the linebacker's view. They don't throw the ball. Fullwood hit for a loss of 2. Felton Hayes, number 46, the weak side linebacker, made the play, and in comes the kicking team. Number 8, Chris Knapp, will come in to attempt the field goal for Auburn. This is frankly a problem area for Auburn. This should be a chip shot. They'll spot it at about the 24, so it's a 34-yard attempt. But remember, Derek Schmidt missed a 28-yarder earlier for FSU. Knapp is 2 out of 2 kicking. They've been short ones. This one's good. We have a tie game, 17-17. 2:35 to go in the half. Hold everything. Penalty marker on the play. It's offside Seminoles. It'll be declined. Field goal count, 17-17. We'll be right back.
Through the heat and rain, yeah. Across the Alps and against the grain, yeah.
Buick Electra went in the world, it left behind new standards of luxury and performance.
And it's here to stay, yeah. 22. Your own test today, yeah.
Now, see if Buick Electra lives up to the highest standard of all. Yours.
Wouldn't you really rather have a Buick? Who says you can't have it all? Who says you can't be buttoned up and down to earth underneath it all?
Who says you can't have super premium taste and a less filling beer?
Michelob Light. Oh, yes, you can. Michelob Light. Oh, yes, you can. Michelob Light. Oh, yes, you can. Have it all.
2:35 to go in this first half, and it is 17-17. 74 yards for the Tigers. 3-13, 23-yard field goal by Knapp, but the key play was the 55-yard end around by the young sophomore split end Freddie Wagand that took it down to the 10-yard line. Seminoles stiffened on defense there, though, and we have an excellent game. 20 Ross and 44 Wells are back deep for the Seminoles. It will not matter, though, as the ball is hit out of the end zone. Good job of kickoff kicking by Chris Johnson, another freshman kicker for Auburn. So the Seminoles bring it out to their 20, first down 10 with 2:35 to go in the half. And the way we've been going, that's plenty of time for both teams to have 80-yard drives.
Right, yeah. Could be 30-0 by the time the half's over. I'd like to say hi to Chris Carrick. He's watching from Charleston, South Carolina, from the hospital there, and had a freak accident that lost some fingers on his left hand, but he's got a great spirit. He'll come back strong.
First down 10 Seminoles. Eric Thomas at the quarterback position. We're tied at 17. Here's Tony Smith. Gets a couple of blocks. Look at the pursuit. Now that's great play both ways. Excellent defensive coverage by Auburn and some intelligent running and block usage by 49 Tony Smith for only a 3-yard gain.
The type of defense that Auburn is playing is more susceptible to being attacked during through the air, as you see Tony Smith limping off the field.
Freshman 27 Victor Floyd in there in place of Smith. We'll check on Smith's ankle. See how that is. Looked like an ankle. Second down 7 Seminoles. 96 Panton tight end switches over here to the near side. Pitch to Floyd, the freshman. Cuts against the grain. Nice move. To the 38-yard line. Oh, these teams are so loaded with talents on both sides of the ball. Victor Floyd, the freshman from Pensacola.
Look at this move here now. He takes it back. He beats Gerald Williams. Now takes it upfield, and he ducked inside a couple other folks. Tommy Powell back there. Arthur Johnson comes over to clean up on him as Porter arrives.
They spotted just outside the 37-yard line. First down 10 Seminoles. 1:31 to go. First half tied at 17.
I'm continually amazed with the ability and poise of some of these freshmen that we're seeing, Bob.
Here's Victor Floyd again. Hitting the backfield this time. Nothing going. Down at the 33. Excellent penetration by 94 Harold Hallman. You also see 46 Eddie Phillips, who had made some penetration, but it was the nose guard who made the play that time. Loss of 5 on the play. He had a career last year against FSU in that 42-41 game.
Bobby Bowden talking to Wayne McDuffie upstairs. He wants a timeout.
Clock ticking, 50 seconds. He can't seem to get the attention of his quarterback, however. He got the attention of one of the receivers on the far side. Anybody can call a timeout, by the way, and or request it from the official. And Florida State gets the timeout, but they lose about 14 seconds before Bowden can get the timeout called. It'll be 2nd and 15 from the 33 when we return. This is Turner Network Television. By Hallman, stopping Floyd in the backfield. It's 2nd down 15 Seminoles from their own 33. 45 seconds to go in the second quarter. Auburn has 2 timeouts remaining. Florida State only 1. We are tied at 17. 45 seconds. Let's see. Florida State can probably get underway 15 to 20 plays in 45 seconds the way they've been playing today. And Auburn can come back and start a drive. Let's see what happens. They split Hassan Jones and Darren Holloman wide to the left side. Split their backs in the backfield. They're Wells and Floyd. Eric Thomas under pressure. Incomplete. Attempted for Chuck Wells, but Wells intelligently dropped that forward pass. He'd have been thrown for about a 5-yard loss had he caught it. Excellent quarterback pressure from Gerald Robinson, who frankly has not been playing a great deal in this game, but he is really the best quarterback pressure player on the part of the Auburn team, and he showed you why right then against the very mobile Eric Thomas. So now we're down to 3rd down 15, 37 seconds remaining in the half. Auburn may have an opportunity to have this ball again unless Florida State can convert 15 or more yards on this play.
Auburn's got a special defense that they sometimes use in passing in possession situations like this, but they don't seem to be lined up in it. Watch down the middle, about 15 to 20 yards deep.
Robinson. It is complete to Hassan Jones. To the 42-yard line, 1st down, 28 seconds remaining, and the clock stops. Excellent pressure, but Thomas stepped up there and avoided the pressure from Robinson and completed it to Hassan Jones.
This area was open on the play before, and Hassan Jones finds the open area as Thomas avoids the sack from Robinson. Robinson just not mobile enough. His ankle is bothering him, and he just can't generate the mobility to make the play. See, he can't make the turn to grab Thomas. Look at that. What an effort. But there was such a wide open gap down the middle at 20 yards deep. Jones had time to run to the football, and that's why Bobby Bowden likes that young man right there. Just, you know, the guts to stand in there and let that one go. I'd have been digging for grass.
Eric Thomas had injured his shoulder, had been really out of the quarterback position and picture for Florida State. It was McManus, Coker, Chip Ferguson, a freshman. He was even moved to wide receiver because he's such a good athlete and because Bowden feels that his presence on the offensive team is so important. Thomas starts healing slower and then more fast, then has a good week of practice or two, and Bobby Bowden said, frankly, he didn't know exactly what to do at quarterback coming into this game, decided to start with McManus, but said, don't be surprised if you see us with Eric Thomas, and he has come in here and played well in relief. Next week, we're very happy to report that we will have the Tennessee-Alabama telecast at 12:30 Eastern Time from Birmingham. Tennessee playing Florida. They were tied 0-0 last we heard. Alabama playing Penn State later today. 28 seconds to go in this half, first half. 1st and 10, Seminoles from the 42. Thomas with a lot of time. Hit from behind. Just as I said it, here comes Andre Bruce. Thomas was winding up, looking deep for Jones, who was deep and open a little bit, but too much time required, and Eric Thomas was really slammed from behind.
Thomas looking downfield. He's going to the outside. The receivers are breaking in. Now back out to the corner as he releases the ball. Didn't have enough time to get it off. Good pass rush by the Auburn front. But, Bob, I'm telling you, that area is still open down the middle. Unless Auburn goes to that defense where they let Tommy Powell sit in that slot, they can get it in there on him.
Well, this will be 2nd down 10 from the 42-yard line of Auburn. 22 seconds remaining in the half. Florida State has no timeouts remaining. Look at those passing statistics. 30 Holloman and 27 Floyd in the backfield. Play fake. Wide open, Bryant. Down to the 23-yard line. Clock will stop at 13 seconds for the sticks to move. Remember, Florida State with no timeouts. It is tied 17-17. 13 seconds to go until halftime. Play was called in the previous huddle. Everybody lining up. Clock has not started yet. Now it starts. 12, 11, and ticking. Thomas throws it out of bounds to stop the clock with 8 seconds to go. This is definitely field goal range for Florida State. There are 8 seconds remaining in the half, and I believe Bobby Bowden is deciding to send Derek Schmidt in. Derek Schmidt hit a field goal earlier of 42 yards, but missed a 28-yarder. This one will be exactly 40 yards.
It's not worth the risk of running another play. The odds of you scoring a touchdown on it are extremely minimal.
End zone view. He missed this one by a country mile. I don't know what happened there. Schmidt having a rough day. He's only 1 out of 3, and Auburn denies Florida State any points as we're down to 4 seconds to go in the half, and it'll be Auburn football for 1 play. Don't know what happened. Let's see. Just missed it, folks. He looks out of kilter on that play, not well balanced on the kick and the follow-through.
It looks like his head's coming up a little quickly. I mean, he knows both the ones he missed. He knew as soon as it left his foot, and that's usually when you miss, you don't know till you look up, right, Bobby?
I know about that with golf. Burt Reynolds, we're going to have a movie for you at halftime with Burt Reynolds and some interesting stats on one of the former FSU players. Both schools' marching bands, scores and highlights from around the country. Some great games going on today. Auburn decides to stay out of trouble deep in their own territory, let the clock run out. What a first half we've had. Auburn 17, Florida State 17. It has been a beauty, and we expect no less in the second half. Stay with us for our halftime activities from Jordan-Hare Stadium in Auburn, Alabama. Hare Stadium, Florida State's marching band on the field. We're going to hear some of their performance a little bit later, but right now we have a trivia question for all you sports and theater buffs, and that question is, what former FSU player became a movie star and was the only one to ever star in a movie with, among others, Clint Eastwood? Here's a hint.
Shut! What the hell is he trying to pull?
Okay, have you guessed it? There's the answer. Burt Reynolds actually was a player at Florida State from 54 through 57. Was in City Heat, among others. Here he is in an actual game against Auburn in 1954. Burt Reynolds, and watch this move. Cuts to the left side. Pretty good running back, eh, folks? He came as a heralded freshman in 54 from West Palm Beach, played as a freshman, and many people feel he could have been a star at Florida State, but he hurt his knee in an auto accident and started participating more on the theater stage than he did the football field. Of course, went on to all the fame that we know him. He still is a very big Florida State fan. Bobby Bowden called Burt right before the Florida State-Nebraska game to tell him they were thinking of him. And by the way, in that backfield of Auburn, in that picture you saw right there was Bob James, number 23, the former governor of Alabama. So there's the pictures and answers to our trivia quiz, which we hope you enjoyed about Burt Reynolds. And now we're going to watch the Florida State University Marching Chiefs on the field. Director is Dr. Bentley Shellhammer. Drum major is Rodney Dorsey. And this is halftime music entitled Dance, Dance, Dance. The second half, we're tied. Auburn 17, Florida State 17. Bob Neal and Ted Dorsey. And this is halftime music entitled Dance, Dance, Dance. The second half, we're tied. Auburn 17, Florida State 17. Bob Neal and Tim Foley with you from Jordan-Hare Stadium. Possible return here. It's Keith Ross, the freshman, number 20. Gets a good block. And running room. Ran into his own player, or he might have broken it. Out to the 39-yard line goes the freshman. What a great return that is. Richard Manry makes the tackle. And an excellent return by the freshman, number 20, Keith Ross, is out of Newberry, Florida. There are the halftime statistics. Oh, my, we're opening up just like we started. You can see the total yardage already, 227 and 206. They have 433. There's a chance they'll break 1,000 in total. Of course, FSU's getting it done in the air. Auburn getting it done on the ground. 95 yards of the rushing yardage has come from Bo Jackson of Auburn. First and 10 Seminoles way out here to their 39-yard line. Fullback Cletus Jones, penalty markers down on the first play from the line of scrimmage. penalty marker could be against Auburn. It looked like freshman Tracy Rocker from Atlanta may have jumped off sides. Man in the white hat, referee Bill Goss.
You saw those halftime statistics. Well-balanced offense from both sides, right? 6 yards of passing for Auburn. And not much rushing for Florida State. I think 51 yards. There's McManus having a problem with dizzy spells.
As you can see, looks like he's in some pain. He's had 2 concussions this year, and they check his blood pressure and his head and his condition after every practice. So they don't want to take any chances with this young man, a sophomore. And Eric Thomas came in to replace him midway through the first half. Thomas went 3 out of 7 for 94 yards. It's 2nd down 9. And you saw the penalty was against Florida State for illegal procedure. Into the backfield, number 44, Chuck Wells. Not much going. Opening with a penalty like that can sometimes take the fire out of the excellent kickoff return.
Ben McCurdy, a hard-nosed Auburn linebacker, not the bell cow type of linebacker that they've had here in the past, but a tremendously aggressive upfield player. It squeezes the most out of his ability. Those first half possessions where you started.
You see that Florida State had 2 missed field goals in that half that could haunt them as they're tied at 17. It's picked off. Number 3, Kevin Porter. It went right through the hands of 88 Hassan Jones. It'll be Auburn ball at the 39-yard line. Make it the 38-yard line of the Tigers. Right through the hands. You won't see this much.
No question about it. Hassan Jones, one of the most sure-handed receivers in the country, and this is a vulnerable area of Auburn's defense. You see no one around him. He can't make the catch, and Porter, trailing him in, comes up with the interception.
Both teams have 1 interception now.
Robinson rushing from the outside, can't get there to put the pressure. Just barely gets there and does put Thomas on the ground.
Here's Bo Jackson hit in the backfield. This time he cannot break the tackle. No gain. Garth Jacks with the tackle, number 84. Bo Jackson with 95 yards in the first half. He has 4 200-yard games this year. It's going to be tough getting 105 or more here in the second half against Florida State. We'll see what that Heisman candidate can do.
The tip ball down the middle can always hurt you because you've got that defense in depth there. Whereas if he'd have missed it on the sidelines, Bob, wouldn't have amounted to anything.
2nd down, a little more than 10, actually, from the 38-yard line. Jackson again. This time a yard or 2, still shy of the 40. Tackled by 71 Todd Stroud. So it's Jackson to the right, Jackson up the middle for the first couple of plays here. And you're going to see that happen a lot with this I-formation Auburn offense. But remember that it only takes a couple of those to break. And with Bo Jackson, it can happen.
No question about it.
Very warm day in Auburn, 85 degrees at kickoff. Sun poking through partly cloudy skies. 72,169, packed house. About 10,000 folks up from Tallahassee on 3rd down 8. Pat Washington. It's complete. Close to the first down. They may not have get it. It's Lawyer Tillman, a freshman who made the reception. Let's see where they spot the ball. He fell down and may not have it. They'll probably have to bring the sticks in.
He was locked up man-to-man underneath with Martin Mayhew for Florida State.
They're going to bring in the sticks from the far side of the field. It's 17-17. The biggest lack of scoring for Florida State has been something, frankly, we would not have expected, and that's 2 missed field goals by their outstanding kicker, Derek Schmidt. Florida State has amassed a little bit more yardage in the game than Auburn. Auburn has controlled the ball a little bit more. It is short of the first down. We talked about that 72,169 crowd at Jordan-Hare Stadium. From the loveliest village on the plain, Auburn, Alabama. Very hospitable folks here. Sports Information Director David Housel with his staff, Mike Hubbard, John Lewandowski, Associate Athletic Director Oval James and his staff, and the folks at Auburn just treat us so nice. We love to visit this place. And, of course, we don't mind a great football game either.
Right. Had another great dinner last night at the Barringtons at the gazebo.
While we did research, 4th and short. Jackson gets a first down, I believe. It'll be close. Seminoles saying they have the ball, but we'll just let them unstack it. It's tough to stop Auburn when they go into that power formation with A.G. Ware and Bo Jackson, that great offensive line, to keep them from getting about a foot is virtually impossible.
But just to show you what type of game this is and how valuable each coach views a possession, you don't usually go for it in the first possession of the second half with the score tied on your side of the 50-yard line. That's not a normal call, but I'm sure that Pat felt like he needs to make some things happen and tries to do it with Bo Jackson. First down.
That's 3 fourth-down conversions.
The risk pays off.
Auburn 3 out of 3 on fourth-down conversions today. Oh my!
If you remember in that the last drive they made last year, they converted a fourth-down situation in their final drive. The year before that, they converted 2 fourth-down situations in their final drive.
11:43 to go, third quarter. Washington to throw. Has time. Has a man, too. It's complete for 14, Freddie Wagan, down to the 28-yard line. Auburn putting the ball in the air. Now Washington 3 out of 6 on the day. He went 0 for 3. At one point in the midway of the second quarter, Auburn had not gained a yard in the air, but they're changing that now.
He curls, and watch, you'll see the free safety, Greg Newell, drifting over there, lost total contact with the football, could have made an interception. I think Mayhew expecting help on the inside. Wagan makes the reception. Nice throw by Pat Washington.
It's first down, 10, Auburn at the 28-yard line of Florida State, tied 17-17. First third of the third quarter. Not much that time. So about the 26-yard line goes fullback Tommy Agee. Fred Jones, 55, with his 6th tackle of the day.
You know, Bob, if Auburn starts to mix in that play pass, Florida State's going to have a lot of trouble on defense. They're having trouble enough stopping him when they're not throwing the ball, when they know they're going to run. And if they can effectively mix in that play pass, that's just going to be a big headache for Mickey Andrews.
Second down 8 at the 26-yard line. Here's the pure classic I formation. Washington throwing out of it. It is complete to the 18-yard line. Close to a first down. That is Trey Gaines, the flanker, number 19, with a reception. Covered by Deion Sanders, the freshman cornerback for the Seminoles.
Nice throw here by Washington. Puts it right on the money because Deion Sanders is right in Gaines' back pocket.
They're bringing in the sticks again. They're always close, it seems.
Gaines is another one of those athletes that isn't really gifted, but has a tremendous amount of desire and courage and intensity.
You know, he's from Cairo, Georgia. Trey Gaines, you see the mark there, first down. Trey Gaines grew up as a big Florida State University fan. And watched the Seminoles all during his childhood, was recruited here to Auburn, and he always gets pumped playing against the Seminoles now. And Stan Shiver, a safety from Tifton, Florida State's a cousin of his, so it's a real family, local, backyard ball game for the man who just caught that pass, Trey Gaines. It's first down, 10, Auburn. They're at the 17 of Florida State. Here's number 30, number 30, Tommy Agee, to the 11. Jones and Newell combining on the stop for Florida State. These two teams are playing pure football based on Auburn running it and Florida State throwing it, Tim.
That's correct. And I've just really always been impressed by Agee as Pat Dye looks on. He's going to be a fullback in the pros, I think, a lot like Andre Franklin. Blocked a lot. They talked a lot about the tailback at Nebraska, but when he gets the chance to carry it, he always produces.
Oh, Brett Fullwood. What a run to the 1-yard line. Brett Fullwood goes 10 yards with superb effort.
Just running skill here. Searles pulling. Gets a couple of blocks, but now Fullwood's taking it on. Newell misses again. They try to drag him down from behind, but look at that drive and enthusiasm.
And Greg Newell, who is really part of the heart and soul of the defensive secondary in terms of hitting and tackling, is having a struggling day. He is not playing as well as he usually does.
He's not wrapping up after he makes contact, Bob.
First and goal. Fullwood flags down. Fullwood scores. Touchdown. Penalty marker on the play. Offsides, Seminoles. It'll count. Auburn takes the lead. Auburn was up front 7-0. Then it was 7-7. Then it was 14-7. Then they were down 17-14, and now they take the lead.
He's going after it, head-to-head. Fullwood knifes it into the end zone.
We have 9:44 to go in the third quarter for Brent Fullwood. That was his third touchdown of the year. Number 2, Chris Johnson, in for the point-after touchdown attempt. It's good. Auburn 24, Florida State 17. 9:44 remaining in the third quarter.
Unmistakably hot, unmistakably cool, unmistakably sharp, unmistakably smooth, unmistakably right, down to the last detail. Tonight is unmistakably steak and ale.
To Jim Peck, who had 5 business lunches in 3 days, Republic Airlines awards the comforts of perks.
I've earned them.
To Denise Cresta, who had to preview 400 patterns of plaid, Republic awards the executive suite perk.
I've earned it.
And to Ron Barry, who had to be in 3 cities at the same time, Republic awards a free trip after only 20,000 miles. He's earned it.
We make you feel like flying. Republic Airlines.
Minnesota with the ball on its own 39-yard line. Quarterback Ricky Foggy back to pass. Finds Kevin Starks, who makes a great reception. Then turns around and goes all the way for the touchdown. Minnesota having an easy time with the Wildcats 21-3.
So the Auburn Tigers scored the first touchdown against FSU in the second half this season. Previously, the Seminoles have given up only 3 points. FSU, a strong second-half club itself, though. They had outscored opponents 51-3 after intermission coming into the game. Auburn had outscored opponents 65-36. So both teams will score a lot in the second half. Out of the end zone, and the Seminoles will bring it out to the 20-yard line, trailing 24-17.
I think that 51-3, I don't know if the people understand that. Outscoring your opponents 51-3 in the second half means that you're a great game day coach. Means that you have a sense for what the other team is trying to do to you. You can digest that and then come up with something to counteract it. And that's what Bobby Bowden is. Let's see what he comes up with in the second half.
As Tony Smith, 49, in at tailback as we begin the first offensive series. And number 30, Tanner Holloman, a junior from Tallahassee, is the fullback, trailing 24-17 from the 20-yard line. Eric Thomas, the quarterback. Great play fake. Incomplete, intended for number 9, Philip Bryant. Great job of faking the ball. Bryant covered well, and Thomas just couldn't get the ball to him. Let's watch Philip Bryant. He's a freshman from Bainbridge, Georgia.
He would rather take that pattern inside the defensive back. See, he's not able, after he clears him on the outside, to suck in the defender and leave himself some room on the sideline. You'd rather run that pattern to the inside of the jam, then come back outside. It leaves yourself some room to manipulate on the sidelines. Thomas really had no place to go with it.
Second down 10 from the 20. Midway through the third quarter. Over the middle. Almost picked off. Eric Thomas having himself a real problem day. 3 out of 10, 1 interception. And remember, he has not played quarterback in live football action all year long due to the injury. He came in replace of Danny McManus with dizzy spells. Almost threw it away that time. Now, Bobby Bowden, as someone said the other day, needs, instead of a bench for quarterbacks, a bullpen. Because Bobby Bowden is not afraid, like Sparky Anderson, to go in there and pull out a pitcher who's having a tough day. So we could see another guy back in there.
Chip Ferguson bailed him out against Kansas.
On third down 10, Thomas. A lot of time. Incomplete. Short hopped it. Incomplete. Couldn't deliver the ball. Remember, this young man has had a sore shoulder all year. He's now 3 out of 11. With Florida State behind 24-17, you can bet they'll pass. They like to pass the ball more than run it anyway. And this is the first time today that Florida State has had to punt the ball. Lewis Berry comes in, averaging 39 and change per punt. And Trey Gaines will go back to take the punt reception at his own 35-yard line, number 19. High snap. Good punt. Good hang time. Gaines has a little room. Has his helmet knocked off. Oh, my. Penalty markers down. What a collision. I think 26 Alfonso Williams got the helmet. That could, of course, be a face mask. We'll see. He's okay, fortunately. 43-yard punt, 13-yard return.
The helmet's off now. No penalty. He's coming down, and I think that's what they called. Number 21 coming in there too late. Didn't look like he came in with a lot of force, but the idea was that he doesn't have his helmet anymore. Lay off.
That was John Hadley, I think, the man we're looking at, number 21. We'll be right back. This is Turner Network Television.
When it's icy cold and the wires are down and they're spitting sparks all over the ground, you gotta go. Can't fool around. That's why America goes with Prestone.
A fresh fill of Prestone Chew antifreeze fights freeze-up and rust-up, too. A radiator could look this bad after just 10,000 miles of driving on weak, neglected antifreeze, while the Prestone radiator looks this good. Get the Prestone difference.
America goes and goes and goes with Prestone.
She challenged the state of Tennessee and put criminal justice on trial. They warned her. They are going to get you. Threatened her. They tried to silence her. That's how badly they wanted her out.
We're a troublemaker.
That's how hard she fought back. Sissy Spacek, Marie, the explosive true story. Rated PG-13.
Now playing at specially selected theaters.
Folks, the official refused to stop play during our commercial timeout, and Auburn scored a touchdown. So we apologize for that, but the officials are known to stop the play and are supposed to, but actually refuse to. So you get to see it again anyway, thanks to replay, of course. Bo Jackson.
Eric Floyd, Ron Middleton setting it up, but then it's just Bo Jackson fighting his way into the end zone. Good leg drive and running with power. You see it again, Steve Wilson, 75 and 63. Eric Floyd, Ron Middleton, number 87. Good blocking downfield by Freddie Wagan. Deion Sanders there in time, but can't drag down the powerful Auburn running back.
And Bo Jackson now with 134 yards on the day. His 17th 100-yard game, extending his school record, which he set last week against Ole Miss. 17 100-yard games. He has 4 200-yarders this year and is well on his way there again with 134. Again, we apologize for the official not stopping play, so you missed that one live, but we'll replay it for you plenty of times. A 53-yard touchdown run by Jackson, and then that one. 36th TD in his career.
You just can't let a runner like Jackson take on your defense one at a time. You've got to get there in groups, and when you get there, just hang on. Don't try to level them. Just hang on and wait for help.
My Heisman Trophy leading candidate right now for sure. This young man has had 815 yards coming into this game. So now he has 929. He could go over 1,000 today, and that'd be after 5 games if he continues to run the ball. And it's 31-17 Auburn, but Florida State powerful in the second half too. The problem for the Seminoles is, will they be able to settle their quarterback situation with McManus out with dizzy spells and Eric Thomas, who has not played all year, frankly struggling, 3 out of 11 throwing the ball. No return on this one, and Chris Johnson from Spanish Fort, Alabama, number 2, the kicker on kickoffs for Auburn, does a great job getting the ball into the end zone.
You see Corrin talking to the referee. They're really going after each other down there in the special teams.
Both of these teams are undefeated on our TBS telecast over the last 3.5 years. FSU 4-0, Auburn 3-0. One of them will not be undefeated after today's game. believe they're going to stay with Eric Thomas. Let's see what the young man can do. Remember, he's a senior. Remember, he's been injured. This is his first game action all year. Cletus Jones. A tough 5 yards for the fullback from Miami.
Certainly is an emotional football game, and you have to really maintain your poise in a situation like this. You don't want to get yourself thrown out of a game, and there are a couple of players down there that are close to igniting some extracurricular activity.
8:29 to go in the third quarter. It's Auburn 31, Florida State 17. We were tied 17-17 at halftime. Fullwood capped a 62-yard drive by Auburn on the opening drive, and then Jackson took it in from 35 after an interception. Second down 5. On the option, Eric Thomas. He's going to get the first down. Tough first down, but he gets it. That's what Thomas does better than any other Florida State quarterback, is run the option. Out to the 32-yard line.
And that's a very valuable aspect of an offense to have, because you can threaten the corner. A team can't worry as much about your receivers when they're concerned about supporting the option. And that's something that's a problem for every defensive coordinator in the country. But I still believe that the Auburn defense is vulnerable in the middle in that 15-yard area. It was open the last time. Hassan Jones didn't take it inside, though. He just curled up.
On a first down 10 from the 32-yard line. Tony Smith. Reverse. Darren Holloman needs a block. Good cut, but he goes down. Very little gain. Gerald Williams will get credit for the tackle, number 98 for Auburn. Holloman tried to stretch it outside and had to cut it back, Tim. That's where they got him.
Kelly was there. Williams was there. I'm sure that's something they drew up on the board and talked about a lot at halftime, because they were hurt on a couple of reverses and a couple of fake reverses. If they'd have handed the ball off to the man coming around, would have been big gainers too. So that door, I think, has probably been shut.
It's second down 8 from the 34. Seminoles trailing 31-17, third quarter. Eric Thomas on the option, out to the 38-yard line. Needed to go to the 42 for the first down. Eddie Phillips for the stop. And let's go to Atlanta for a college football update.
It's knotted at 10-all with Pitt, North Carolina State, until super freshman Brian Davis goes off the middle, breaks some tackles, and goes in, puts Pittsburgh out in front 17-10. And Bob Neal, watch Brian Davis in the future. He's a good one.
Thank you, Alec. Brian Davis, just one of many great freshmen in the country. I've won at Pittsburgh. We've got some good ones in this game here today. Big play for FSU. 3rd and 3 from their own 39. Whistle blows. The clock had gone down to 0. I don't know whether it's a delay, but it very well may be a delay of game. As Florida State struggling, that's what the call is. Struggling on offense, something you usually do not see with the Seminoles. And Bo Jackson leading the cheers and running for 134 yards and 2 touchdowns. He sold some popcorn at halftime. Took, I think, 2 or 3 tests. And that's an incredible statistic.
I don't know about popcorn, Bob, but I know that knowing that he's going to play sells some tickets.
Will he play baseball? Will he play football? If you ask him today, he'd say football, because he's having a great day. After the spring baseball season at Auburn, he might have another answer. 3rd down 8.
Confusion on defense for Auburn.
Screen to Tanner Holloman. Great job running the ball, but he is short of the first down thanks to the 5-yard penalty. And that penalty was a very critical one for Florida State. They do not convert and will have to punt the football for the 2nd time today. And there's part of the big story. There is Danny McManus, a leader, a winner, the man who had been the starter. He's had 2 concussions. He's had dizzy spells. He cannot play and probably will not play in this game. Nobody feels worse about it than number 14, Danny McManus. We'll be right back.
Fearless ones who jump and fly from coast
TBS, Great American Sports.
Bob Neal and Tim Foley with you from Jordan-Hare Stadium in Auburn. 72,169 here. Auburn leads 31-17 with 2 second-half touchdowns. They were tied at halftime. 5:29 to go in the third quarter. Auburn scored on a 62-yard drive and a Fullwood 1-yard run and an interception and a 35-yard Bo Jackson run, and Florida State's going for it on 4th and 2.
He's got it, Bob.
Wide open, Hassan Jones. And out of bounds at the 12. Had Thomas thrown it a heartbeat sooner, it was goal lines and headlines. What a play by Bowden's Seminoles. They called timeout, didn't punt. What a great play fake into the line. They faked our camera crew out, and that rarely happens in 60 games. And our director, Ken Fouts, even missed this.
You have to really be patient if you're a quarterback with this situation. You gotta sit there and stare at the back on the ground. You draw up the defenders, because those defenders, if they can play pass, they're not going to let a guy run down there. You really have to take your time, be a good actor. Great job by Eric Thomas.
First down 10 from the 13-yard line. It's a reverse. Darren Holloman avoids tackles, cuts inside. 10, 5 down to the 2-yard line. Darren Holloman. Oh, what an exciting offensive team. How would you like to try to defense that? Carricker with the tackle. I got a kick out of that replay on the long pass play to Hassan Jones. You got a great idea with the camera there, not following the ball, as did none of the Auburn players either. You almost felt like you were in the middle of the game watching all the heads turn. Oh, my. 31-17 Auburn leading. The Seminoles knocking on the door. They are close. It is first down goal by the length of the football.
A dive up the middle against Auburn in 4th and 2. The way they're playing has no chance.
What a ball game.
Oh, and a gutty call by Bobby Bowden. Taking a big risk. Because the way that Auburn offense is moving the football, to give them the ball on the 40-yard line, it's like saying, well, that's the end of that.
All right. It is first down goal from the 2 Seminoles, trailing 31-17, 5:03 to go, third quarter. Panton in motion. Tony Smith gets blocked. Touchdown, Seminoles. Right in front of the Florida State cheering section of about 10,000 who are up from Tallahassee. I always like this, Tim. The entire team celebrates at Florida State. No one guy spikes the ball.
Well, it certainly has been a team effort for them on offense and on defense. They don't really have any standout superstars. They spread the ball around too much to have any big-time superstar, and I think that's what they're trying to encourage.
Point after attempt is good. It is Auburn 31, Florida State 24. We are on the way to another beautiful, heart-stopping football game between the Tigers and the Seminoles. 4:49 to go, third quarter. This is Turner Network Television.
At many stores, the person who sells rock albums also sells hardware. But at Century Hardware, the person who sells hardware, like Black & Decker half-sheet sanders, $34.88. Quickset single-cylinder deadbolt, $7.44. And DAP acrylic latex caulk, 29 cents. So who would you rather buy from? Someone who knows hardware or someone who knows rock and roll? Century, where hardware isn't a sideline.
She challenged the state of Tennessee and put criminal justice on trial. They warned her.
They are going to get you.
Threatened her. They tried to silence her. That's how badly they wanted her out.
You were a troublemaker.
That's how hard she fought back. Sissy Spacek, Marie, the explosive true story. Rated PG-13.
Now playing at specially selected theaters.
Watch 64 Jamie Dukes, Tomberlin over on the left side. 49 is Tony Smith. Look at his blocking. Power football.
They're getting people on the line. Look at Dukes picks off one guy and knocks off Powell, and great effort by Jamie Dukes, enabling Tony Smith to score for Florida State.
Now, the key play on the drive was the 4th down and 2. Bobby Bowden was about to punt, calls timeout, comes back in, play fakes into the line, throws a 48-yarder from Thomas to Hassan Jones. And Tim Foley, I'm right now going to designate the best play fake I've ever seen in a college football game.
That's the best play fake I've ever seen. The best play fake I've ever seen is when Fran Tarkington did that same thing to me. It threw it 60 yards to John Gilliam, and I got a throat full of Shula.
A throat full of Shula. Here comes Brent Fullwood. Out to the 16-yard line. Good coverage by the Seminoles. It's 31-24 Auburn with the ball again. They've had 2 scoring drives on this second half in this third quarter. Time of possession 4:07. Big play. Oh my, was it? 8 plays, 80 yards, 4:07. Now the crowd, everybody on their feet. The Seminole fans cheering their defense. However, 62,000 Tiger fans are drowning them out, cheering for the offense right now. It's noisy down there, folks.
Both these teams displaying the courage of their head coaches. Just will not quit, will not let up. Both teams have had a chance to do that. They just keep fighting back.
First down 10 from the 16. That is Tommy Agee, number 30. Out to the 25. 2 of the great football teams in the country. Either one of these teams have a chance to finish in the top 5. Florida State number 4 coming into the game. Auburn number 12 after being ranked number 1, then losing to Tennessee.
The difference with this Florida State football team in terms of the previous 4 games is they've played defense in the second half. Let's see if they can stop Auburn here late in the third quarter and the fourth quarter.
You talk about even Steven. 311 yards each team. Second down 1. Washington's going upstairs. He's looking for Weigand. It is incomplete. Good coverage by 32 Martin Mayhew. A little bit of help by 16 Tracy Sanders. And Washington shows he's got the long arm, but he couldn't find his receiver. 14 Weigand. Pat Washington now is 4 out of 9 throwing the football today. It'll be third down 1 from the 25-yard line. We've seen 4 fourth down conversions in this game. 3 by Auburn and a 4th and 2, which I thought was slightly crazy by Bobby Bowden when he throws it 48 yards to Hassan Jones.
And if you're working with Pat Washington, you have to be proud of him. That man has displayed a lot of character going from the 3rd-team quarterback to the 1st-team quarterback.
Here's Bo Jackson, first down and more. Oh, he's so tough to stop out there. To the 36. That's the kind of play that he scored his 53-yard touchdown run a minute 50 seconds into this game.
If you're Eric Williams, you go to tackle Bo Jackson, you can't get down around the thigh area. You just can't grab because he's going to deliver that forearm, and his legs are so powerful. You almost have to kind of give up a couple extra yards and grab a hold of something, because if he sheds you, then he's got the sidelines and a touchdown.
First down 10, Auburn from the 35. Washington going to the air. It's complete to the 46-yard line. Nice diving catch by Trey Gaines. Gaines with his 3rd catch of the afternoon. And I believe it is a first down. Yes, first down Auburn. They haven't moved the sticks yet, but it seems obvious to me that it's a first down. 3:10 to go, third quarter. 31-24, Tigers leading the Seminoles. Florida State has only defeated Auburn once. That was back in '77 under Bobby Bowden in his 2nd year. They have never won here at Auburn. They say Bobby Bowden is the king of the road, but that's unless the road leads to Auburn, Alabama thus far. Pat Washington never had a prayer. Lenny Chavers right up the middle.
And you know what's interesting, Bob? I think if there's a game that Bowden would like to win on the road, it's Auburn. He's from Birmingham, Alabama, went to Woodlawn High School. This is coming home. You know, and he's got to come home for Christmas and listen to all that joke about how he can't beat Auburn. So it's one that he wants to win.
There's Tiger, the War Eagle mascot. You know, they're on a campaign here at Auburn to make people understand around the country that these are the Auburn Tigers. They have only one team nickname. They have been called the Plainsmen, but that's not their nickname. And War Eagle is a cry, not a nickname. There's Bo Jackson. Gets it to the 47-yard line. Gain of about 5, maybe 4 yards. It was 2nd and 13.
in this rivalry, it's not a bitter, biting rivalry like some of them, where there's just a lot of animosity. I think more so than in a lot of rivalries that I've been associated with, there's a lot of respect between the schools and the players, simply because of the rocky type of football games that these people have had.
Third down and 9.5 or 10 for Auburn from the 47.
They come.
Washington goes down, a big loss. 55, Fred Jones shot right up the middle. It was an obvious passing situation. 6-yard loss on the play, and now in will come Lewis Colbert to punt the football for Auburn. Only his second punt of the day. Watch 55, Fred Jones.
McGowan coming on one side, Jones up the middle. They just didn't have enough people to pick it up. Full blitz by Florida State. The big play there, though, Bob, is the first down play by Shavers. It puts Auburn in a passing situation, and that's not where they want to be. They want to pass at their option, not when they have to.
Seminoles rushing 10 against Colbert. Now they're covering. Fake the rush. Good high punt. Deion Sanders is going to take it at his 14. He's a great athlete, but he's got himself in some real trouble. And down at the 11. Excellent punt by Colbert of 45 yards, and a loss actually on the return of 5 yards by Deion Sanders. They're going to spot it at the 11, and that's where the Seminoles will go on offense with 53 seconds to go. Third quarter, trailing 31-24.
Did that all in one breath. Pat Dye, it looked like for a while that Auburn was pulling out, that they were getting out and leaving Florida State in the dust, and you could see Dye start to breathe a little bit easier. But now he's got those lines around his eyes are starting to show again. The worry is setting in.
First down 10 Seminoles. Bryant splits wide to the left side. Hassan Jones to the right side. Thomas. He's looking for Bryant. He's out there. It's picked off. Number 45, Jimmy Warren. To the 40. He's got running room. Out of bounds at the 24-yard line. Penalty marker down at the 30-yard line. Eric Thomas just hung it out there. And Jimmy Warren followed it all the way. He stepped out of bounds at the 24. There is a penalty marker on the return. It's an illegal block below the waist call in the open field against Auburn. Let's see what happened. It looked like Philip Bryant really never did see this pass until the last minute. It was really just kind of hung up there.
The play that usually goes along with the action that was in the backfield is a slant. This one, they try to take advantage of Bryant's speed and just run away from Jimmy Warren. The ball was not thrown out there. Even if it was, Warren was in good shape.
Illegal block, a block below the waist. You return, first down.
Now, as a defensive back, they tell you to try to find the sidelines. That's where your help is going to be, and that's what Jimmy Warren did.
So that's a spot of the foul penalty, 10 yards from the spot of the foul, which happened at the 34-yard line. Warren had stepped out at the 24, but they moved the ball back to the 44, and that's where Auburn takes over, first down 10, leading 31-24. 38 seconds to go in the quarter, and timeout has been called and charged to the Auburn Tigers. This telecast authorized under broadcasting rights granted by the Southeastern Conference and Turner Broadcasting System. Any publication, rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the SEC and the Turner Broadcasting System Incorporated is prohibited. Let's pause 5 seconds for station identification.
Virginia 17.
So Auburn, who is the football team Auburn, is last in the SEC in turnovers. But today it has been the turnovers that have aided Auburn. 2 big interceptions, one that led to a touchdown last time. This time Jimmy Warren comes up with the interception and puts Auburn in excellent field position at their own 44-yard line.
And usually on a play like that, Bob, the offensive man, more used to fighting for the football, more used to making the reception and playing the ball, will come up and at least break that up. You know, Bryant didn't do that. You've seen and I've seen people come in over the top and make the great catch. Bryant really didn't come back and fight for the football like he should have.
He's a freshman, perhaps without the experience. Bob Neal and Tim Foley with you. Auburn, Alabama. This is Tommy Agee driving inside the 40. And stopped there at about the 39-yard line. Initial hit made by number 40, Greg Newell. 28 seconds to go, third quarter.
And they still don't have him on the ground. AG has performed in the shadow of Bo Jackson and James Brooks, and Brent Fullwood. I'm really impressed with him.
Remember another outstanding player who performed in the shadow of Brooks, as a matter of fact, by the name of William Andrews, who went on to get out of the shadow. And we understand, by the way, that the Auburn graduate, William Andrews, who I'm happy to say is a friend of mine, is recovering nicely from his severe knee injury. That's the end of the third quarter. Has most of the feeling back in the knee, and the Falcons are hoping he might get an opportunity to play a little before the year is over. We wish him very well. We'll be back with the fourth and final quarter at Jordan-Hare Stadium right after this.
Brighten your colors, sharpen your sound with high-tech components designed to astound. Fine-tune your life with Emerson. Amazing new features, the ultimate prize. Step into the future, we'll open your eyes. Fine-tune your life. Emerson feels so right. Emerson, fine-tune your life with Emerson.
Milwaukee 1851 beer. You'll buy it for 130 years of brewing experience. Did we mention its low introductory price? Tastes great, less money.
Hey, did you know that on Super Football Saturday night, Boston College makes West Point target 0 when they battle Doug Black and Army's devastating ground attack?
I know. I'm Lindsey Nelson, and I'm part of it.
All right. Super Football Saturday night at 8 Eastern on a Super station tonight.
This is Turner Network Television.
Now with Castrol, the motor oil engineered for smaller cars, you'll save more than wear and tear on your engine. You'll save on Prestone antifreeze, Simonized wax, STP gas treatment, Purelator filters, and more. In every 12-pack of Castrol are rebates worth $45. So Castrol makes things easy on your budget while it makes things easy on your engine. The Castrol money-back 12-pack.
You notice it the moment you pick it up. The balance. The power. A Homelight chainsaw feels right, and that makes a big difference when you have better things to do than cut wood all day.
Homelight Jacobson. We put more free time in your day.
Get accessories worth up to $93 free when you buy selected Homelight chainsaws at these dealers.
You are watching the home of the 1986 Goodwill Games. Superstation WTBS.
Bob Neal and Tim Foley with you, ready to begin the fourth quarter from Jordan-Hare Stadium. A symphony of sound here, 72,169. Last year it was 42-41 Auburn, and at one point Auburn led 29-24. Right now it's 31-24 Auburn. And their ball, 2nd and 5 from the 39 of the Seminoles.
Unbalanced line again, Bob.
Jackson, excellent blocking. Jackson gets about 4. Portions of today's game are brought to you by Coors, the beer with a difference worth tasting. Coors is the one. Speaking of Bo Jackson, in 1985, prior to that play, Bo Jackson had rushed for 963 yards. FSU's entire backfield had rushed for 858 yards, and they're pretty good runners. That's everybody.
He's quite an athlete. And I think they've simplified their offense, and they're just putting it in his hands as often as they can.
3rd down 3. Jackson. 1st down. Extra effort to the 31. Isaac Williams, 45, and number 40, Greg Newell. And on the play for Florida State. We've seen good play, as usual, by the inside linebackers by Florida State, Jones and McGowan, but when they are taken out of the play, it is usually a substantial gain. It seems to be the key is moving those.
We're going to watch Freddie Jones here, steps up in there, takes on AG. So you hate to bury your head like that. You're giving yourself up, trying to stuff the play, but you have to be able to fight off those blockers and keep your feet.
This time they give it to the fullback, AG. across the 30 to the 29. Paul McGowan, Gerald Nichols combining on the play.
But what begins to happen a little bit is you think to yourself, oh, not again, because they've been on the field a long time, the FSU defense, and then because Auburn has driven down the field and they're chewing up 4 or 5 yards at a time, that can wear you out.
That number 30 is Tommy Agee. He has carried the ball in this game 7 times, which is a lot for 26 yards, a lot for him in this offense. Bo Jackson already has carried it 24 times. He said prior to this game he could carry it 50 if he needed to. 2nd down 8. Washington taking it upstairs. Has a man down there. It's 14 Wagan, incomplete. Covered by 17 Williams, playing on a sprained ankle. Williams hurt his ankle earlier in the game, but he's playing with a little pain. And Pat Dye, not exactly full of confidence with a 31-24 lead here, although he's been very successful against the Seminoles historically.
Yes, he has, but you can ask him. Some of those gray hairs that you mentioned came out of games against Florida State. And Pat Dye's got his team going in the right direction, though. I think they're playing as a unit more now than maybe they have since 1983 when they won the SEC championship.
Here's a big play both ways. 3rd down 8 from the 29. Double wing formation. Now one of the tight ends goes up. H-back goes in motion. Option play, Bo Jackson. 1st down. What a back. Oh, my. The acceleration is phenomenal. He goes out of bounds just inside the 20. 1st down, Auburn. Jackson strung it out, and then, like he hit afterburners, got the next few yards. Watch it, Tim.
Toss to the outside, and then there's Lee Mark Sellers out in front. Good block on Eric Williams. Sanders can't get there in time to help out.
So Bo Jackson now with 165 yards on the afternoon. 13:01 to go in the game. Auburn 31, Florida State 24. On the 1st down, Jackson avoids a tackle by Jones. To the 14. Playing with fire today. Look at some scores around the country. Iowa, #1 ranked, leading Wisconsin 10-0 in the 2nd quarter. Oklahoma, Texas, net battle down in the Cotton Bowl. Tied. Air Force leading Navy, 3rd quarter. And Tennessee coming back on Florida. It had been 0-0 and then 3-3, and then Florida was up 17-3, but excuse me, that's a final. So Tennessee came back, but not all the way. We'll have Tennessee on our TNT game next week versus Alabama. Ohio State laying it on Indiana today in the 2nd quarter. Here is Brent Fullwood. He's breaking tackles. Goes shy of the 10. Oh my, some really brutal hitting down there. Greg Newell with the initial hit. They could have gotten close to the 1st down. They may have to measure. It looks shy of the 1st down by just a little bit.
This is what football's all about. You can't hear it from up here, but let me guarantee you there's some noise from these impacts. And look at Fullwood. Just determination, keeping those legs going. Gerald Williams comes back in there and puts him away. Probably delivered a big old bruise to his thigh.
3rd down, very short. Bobby Bowden watching his defense dig in. Auburn leads 31-24. They're at the 11-yard line of the Seminoles. Handoff to Ware, does not get it. Ware is held short. There have been 4 4th down conversions in this game. Pat Dye has gone for it 3 times. He's talking to Jackson. He's going for it again. Well, this is going to be a beauty to watch, folks. Looked like he said sweep. Could that be, Tim Foley?
You know, that's a possibility. What's happening here is they bring the tight end in motion. Florida State's linebackers need to adjust to that strong side because now they're ending up with 4 men on one side of the center. And they're just getting outnumbered over there.
4th and 1 at the 11. Sweep. Jackson close to it. It'll depend on where the spot is. The officials will determine this one, and this one's going to be unpopular no matter where they spot the ball.
If they spot it where he's got his foot, they didn't get it.
They have put the ball exactly on the 10. I think you're going to find that they did not get it. This will be talked about on the Plains in Auburn all week long, and the Seminoles celebrate.
We're going to see it again. This is just straight up head-to-head power football. Good block by Agee. trying to open up a hole. It looks like, I don't know what it looks like.
It looks to me like the plane of the ball was at the 10-yard line. Well, we did not have a perfect angle.
Right. So it's a good spot, right?
I think it was a pretty good spot.
Good play by FSU defense. That's rising to the challenge.
I think the Seminoles think it was a good spot, and Auburn thinks it wasn't. How's that for politics? First down 10, Florida State stopping the drive. Option play. Oh, what a dangerous pitch. This is Tony Smith. To the 34-yard line. Oh, my. That was a rifle pitch out there. If Tony Smith doesn't get that one, it could have been in and out of the end zone for a safety, or it could have even been a touchdown for Auburn. 24 yards. Watch this.
Watch the reflexes of Eric Thomas. Man, all of a sudden he's got somebody in his face, Andre Bruce, and lets it go out there almost blind. Good catch by Tony Smith. And now it's upfield. Pat Carter escorting him. Darren Holloman fighting to keep a defensive back out.
First down 10 from the 35-yard line. Seminoles trailing 31-24. We're in the fourth quarter. Eric Thomas on the option. Turns it upfield for nothing this time. He wisely kept the ball. Edward Phillips, 46, with a tackle for Auburn. 10:06 to go in the game. Florida State stopping a 4th-and-1 gamble. But remember, Pat Dye is 3 out of 4 on 4th down conversion attempts today, and that man has denied very few short yardage plays, but he was moments ago. Jackson on the day, 170 yards in 27 carries.
This is what college football is about, Bob.
I'm glad I'm here. Hope the viewers are enjoying it wherever you may be. Second down 10, Seminoles. Thomas hits his tight end, who drives to the 49-yard line. Pat Carter, Tom Powell with the tackle. And let's say something here as we watch this replay. Thomas struggled early. He seems to be gaining with his re-entry into the game here.
Johnson drifted out for the pitch. Left Carter open up the middle. Flanker running the fade pattern as they ran before. And this is the type of quarterback that Eric Thomas is. It's not real pretty. Doesn't have a big, strong arm, but he just does the little things that keeps the drive going.
He was 4 out of 11, but is now 3 out of his last 4. So Thomas warming to the task. First and 10 Seminoles at the 49-yard line. Thomas on the option. Fumble. It is Seminole ball. Thomas got back there to get the ball. It was frankly a bad toss, but Thomas hustling to the ball and averted the big turnover, and turnovers has really been what's hurt Seminoles here today.
No way he should have gotten there. That was just pure hustle right there. That was just a desire. He didn't,
not measurable.
Really. I don't understand how he came up with that ball.
Now John Parks, a freshman, in its split end along with 24 Darren Holloman on second down 19 from the 43. They hand it off to Tony Smith. Running room. First down. Look at him drive to the 34-yard line. Tony Smith putting on a show of his own on the last couple of carries he's had the ball. Powell with the tackle, and Tony Smith now on the afternoon with 79 yards and 10 carries. 23 this time.
Nothing fancy here. Good block by John Ionata. He walled off Rocker, and that gave Smith the room to take it upfield. Powell takes him down with Warren, gets a lot of help by the time he slowed down. The Seminoles have hurt Auburn in the past with the draw. They use it effectively there.
First down 10 from the 34 of Auburn. It is Auburn 31, Florida State 24. Clock ticking, 7:50 to go in the game. Cletus Jones, the fullback, pops it to the 21-yard line. First down Seminoles. Quick opener. And now you got to start talking a little bit about Ionata, Dukes, Schrenker, Tomberlin, Lopez.
You could talk a lot about Tomberlin. There's a lot of area to cover there. He came in at 323 pounds as a freshman. After the first practice, he was down to 325. He gained weight during practice, but the coaches, what they have to say about him is he's just got quick feet. He gets around so well for being that big.
I also see Mark Salva is in there for the Seminoles. First and 10 at the 21 of Auburn. Pitch to the freshman Eric Floyd. Changes direction. Loses 4. Nothing that time. Harold Hallman, and Auburn says, they must be listening to us. The defensive lineman for Auburn said, would you like to talk about those fellows? How about Williams, Hallman, Rucker, right, etc.
I've got a Marine buddy in Pawleys Island, South Carolina, would like to know that Harold Hallman is part of the PLC program. So he's really officially a Marine, and that's why he comes up with the big play when you need it.
Okay, second down and 14. Seminoles at the 25 of Auburn. 6:44 to go in the game. Seminoles trail by 7. Thomas under pressure. Here comes Robinson. Thomas is thrown out of bounds way back at the 39, and Gerald Robinson, 95, came firing along with Harold Holloman, 94. Boy, Robinson has come up with some fantastically big plays. Looks like Bobby Bowden calling timeout down there, Tim. It will be third down and long. No, I thought it was 37. No, I think not.
I think what he's doing, Bob, is getting the coverage. He wants to know what they were in, what happened, where was the breakdown. Did they blitz? Was it just straight coverage? They may start going to maximum protection. They may start going to maximum protection and see if they can get those Hallman and Hassan Jones open down the field.
Right, that's what it is. We got Jones on the right, Holloman on the left side, 3rd and 26 from the 37. That's what you got, Tim. Stepping up into the pocket, Eric Thomas can find nobody. And he gets a little field position back to the 30. That's field goal range. They don't want the field goal, of course, trailing 31-24 with 6:28 to go in the game. Far short of the first down. Remember, the Seminoles have to go to the 11-yard line of Auburn for the first down, thanks to the great defensive play by Auburn.
And that particular play, Frank Orgel, the defensive coordinator for Auburn, chose to put Tommy Powell in that vulnerable area. And he was sitting around that 18-yard area, thereby cutting off any Seminole pass that would be coming into that area.
Here's Schmidt. He is 1 out of 3 today. He's frankly struggling. This will be a 46-yarder. It's good. Just barely, but that's enough for 3. And it's 31-27 with 6:21 to go in the game. This is Turner Network Television.
You got to move? You're thinking about a move. You are moving. Ryder moving days are here with special rates on Ryder trucks at Ryder dealers everywhere. The newest, best trucks you can rent with power steering, automatic transmissions, radios, air conditioning. Did you move yet? Our special fall rates will help you move. See your Ryder dealers. With these rates, you're gonna move. I'm moving. Yeah.
Ryder, the right move.
Ace Best Buys. I wonder who he is today.
Good evening.
Hi. Protect your home with the Family Guard smoke detector. The $2 rebate means it costs just $4.88.
Hello, Danny. Hello. Your actual cost for this firefighter is just $4.88 with the exclusive Ace $5 rebate coupon.
The Ames Green Sweeper Lawn Rake.
Green is nice.
And at $3.66, a nicely priced October Best Buy.
That's the way it is. Ace is the place with the helpful hardware man. Yay!
Another great SEC rivalry next week on TNT. The Crimson Tide of Alabama will host Tennessee at Birmingham's Legion Field. And yours truly, Bob Neal, Tim Foley, will be there with the TBS Sports crew. Tennessee today was beaten 17-10 by Florida down in Gainesville, in what sounded like a pretty good game. Alabama plays Penn State later.
I tell you what, the folks that are here should donate $10 a piece on the way out, because they've got 2 games worth of action here today. They ought to just sit around and applaud them no matter who wins.
Barry Barco hits it hard into the end zone and out of the end zone. Good kickoff by Barco, and they'll bring the ball out to the 20, where Auburn, now leading 31-27, has 6 minutes and 21 seconds to maintain ball control, hold on to this slim 4-point lead. And oh my, it is down to it now, folks. We're about to see a good 6 minutes and 21 seconds of football.
That's exactly what they're going to try to do, Bob. They're going to try to simply maintain possession of the football. Don't do anything risky. Don't do anything that's going to put their lead in jeopardy, and just chew up the clock.
And they've got the offensive machine with which to do it. The powerful I formation with a great offensive line, and Bo Jackson and Tommy Agee. Agee, look at the speed for the fullback. Can he be caught? Run down from behind by 32 Mayhew. What a run at the 12-yard line. defensive line of Auburn.
Look at them fire out there. Steve Wallace, Jeff Parks create a gap. The defensive backs don't react in time to get back in it. Don't get their eye on the ball. And here comes Martin Mayhew, chasing him down from all the way across the field. Old Martin was a 150-pound high school halfback and dragged him down. But I tell you what, there's my player of the game. If I had a vote, Tommy A.G.
68 yards on that play. 95 on the afternoon. 1st and 10 from the 12-yard line of the Seminoles. Bo Jackson stringing it out. Nowhere. Losing a yard or two. Seminole defensive unit. There's a player down for Florida State at about the 9-yard line. We'll check that out for you. Clock down to 5:42. Auburn leading by 4. It looks like it could be Fred Jones. Fred Jones was injured earlier in this game and went out for a while, and is now down once again at the 9-yard line. Florida State trainers on the field now. So it was 31-24 Auburn. Florida State with an excellent drive and then an outstanding defensive stand by the Tigers and several plays of losses, and Florida State went for a 46-yard field goal. It was successful from Derek Schmidt to make it 31-27, but then A.G., whose name is being chanted even as we speak, with a 68-yard run, and here he comes back into the game. Tommy A.G. I want to remind you that the 1986 Goodwill Games will be seen on many of these TNT stations, produced by TBS Sports from Moscow and the Soviet Union. 18 of the most popular sports of the Olympic nature, sports such as track and field, boxing, wrestling, basketball. Hope you'll join us for those next July 5th through the 20th from Moscow and the Soviet Union. The United States, USSR, and many other nations. There are at least 30 nations involved in it at this point in the invitational meet, and probably more to come. Here we have more to come. It's 5:36 to go in the game from Jordan-Hare Stadium in Auburn, Alabama. 2nd down, 11, Auburn. Florida State still working on Fred Jones on the sideline. He may have had the wind knocked out of him. We're hoping that's the case, but now they're helping him as though it is a leg. I'm sorry to say, his right knee, Jones had injured it earlier in this game and had returned to play. Bo Jackson going over and shaking his hand. Bo and Fred had been really worthy opponents here today. They had met many times on this afternoon. There's the spirit of what this is about, this game is about. Jackson sympathy handshake with Fred Jones. We hope the young man will be okay. We'll get a report.
What they did successfully in the previous drive, Bob, they brought the tight end in motion to the tight end side, the H-back. Here he comes.
Washington on the reverse. That's 14. Weigand has a lot of running room. Touchdown. We have seen more 4th down gambles, great play fakes, ends around, reverse, and exciting offensive football in this game today than I've seen in many a moon. And a lot of it coming from that man, Pat Dye, known generally as a conservative game coach. But he pulled some out of here today. Point after is good. Auburn 38, Florida State 27. But the way this game is going, we have all kinds of time left. 5 minutes, 11 seconds.
We're Delta Airlines. We love the things we do. We do them all to please you. Delta.
These Delta singers, representing over 38,000 pros worldwide, are singing out a new message.
Anytime, Delta gets you there. Unmistakably sharp. Unmistakably fine, unmistakably warm, unmistakably yours and mine, unmistakably right, down to the last detail. Tonight is unmistakably
Auburn goes up by 11, 38-27 with 5:11 to go. On the end around, Freddie Wagan with the touchdown.
Alfonso Williams has a hold of the quarterback, and as he tosses the ball to Wagan, and it's an old coaching philosophy: stay at home. You can't do anything chasing a play down on the other side from the goal line. You might as well wait. Take care of your responsibility. Good call by Jack Crow and Pat Dye. Timely call. Worked like a charm.
Number 2, Chris Johnson with a kickoff. Keith Ross is deep along with Chuck Wells. They really nailed this one again. Did it get out of bounds before or after it went across the goal line? After, and it'll be brought out to the 20. Excellent kickoff job by Chris Johnson today. Only one FSU return all day long. There's the scoring drive. Only 3 plays. The key play, of course, the 68-yard run by Tommy Agee. The fullback, Agee now with 95 yards, Fullwood with 49, Jackson with 169, and what an awesome offensive machine Auburn has this year. They were second in the nation in total offense coming into this game behind Nebraska and are leading in the SEC, and they've done nothing to hurt that today.
Pat Washington is the guy that's making it work, providing the leadership for that offense.
Seminoles running the ball a yard or 2, not much more. Bobby Bowden will have to run it a time or 2 as Cletus Jones with the ball, and then you can be sure that he'll be tossing it. He would like to. Last week, 2 weeks ago, when FSU came from behind to beat Kansas after trailing in that game, he brought in a fireballing relief pitcher, the Goose Gossage of his relief staff, a kid by the name of Chip Ferguson, a freshman from Spartanburg who threw 2 touchdown passes. Whether he'll do that today or not, I would frankly doubt it. Thomas on a 2nd down 8. Picked off, number 3, Kevin Porter. Touchdown. Close the door on this one. Thomas throws his 3rd interception of the day. And the interceptions have been the story. Porter picked off 2 of them. Jimmy Warren got the other one. To 27 Auburn. One after is good. 45 to 27 Auburn with 4:26 to go in the game. This is Turner Network Television.
Watch, Holloman's running a little delay here, coming underneath. Johnson reacts to the football. The ball is thrown high, and Porter is there to get the tip ball. 2 interceptions isn't really indicative of the game that Porter has played, or it doesn't have to be. You can play a not-so-great game and get 2 interceptions, but he has been in the right place at the right time all day long. This is Turner Network Television.
This commercial is recorded in stereo. Does your TV have what it takes to hear it? Now Zenith introduces the Smart Sets with the television stereo sound Zenith invented, built in. So all you have to do to hear this in stereo is this. Zenith Advanced System 3, 19 models with built-in stereo. The Smart Sets, smarter than ever.
The sporting event of the decade, the Goodwill Games. In July of 1986, the world's finest athletes will unite in Moscow to determine who is the best in track and field, gymnastics, and more than 16 other world-class sporting events. 10 years after Montreal, witness the first meeting between the United States and the Soviet Union in an international summer sports extravaganza that will become the sporting event of the decade. Turner Broadcasting proudly presents the Goodwill Games.
And there's a young man who feels worse about the interceptions than anybody else. Eric Thomas, 6 out of 15 with 3 interceptions. Danny McManus had started. Thomas came in relief. They're going to return this kickoff. Keith Ross, the freshman, with a very unintelligent decision, is down at the 8. Figure that one out. Shan Morris with the tackle for Auburn. He was in the very back of the end zone.
He was almost out of the end zone.
I was afraid he was, as a matter of fact.
I think he was so far back in there, none of his teammates went over to restrict his forward momentum, and as a result, he just decided to come on out.
Well, he didn't come on out much. He got to the 8-yard line, and Keith Ross, the freshman, showed he's a freshman, and Bobby Bowden has indeed gone to his bullpen and pulled out Chip Ferguson, number 5, the freshman from Spartanburg, South Carolina, who came in relief against Kansas 2 weeks ago and played very well. He'll have to really play well to try to pull one out here with 4:20 left.
As a matter of fact, they might be saying that he did step out, that he was out of the end zone. So.
Kicking team was offside, 5 yards, quick kick.
Unbelievable. That's dodging a bullet. The official, after a great delay, decided that Auburn was offside on the kickoff. Bill Goff made that announcement, Bill Goss, and now they'll kick it again. And you can bet that if it's that deep this time, Keith Ross won't be running it out. Bobby Bowden with a long afternoon at Auburn, and he's had many of them up here.
In the third quarter, Kansas 18, Iowa State 16.
Just doing a little instruction there with Chip Ferguson, just reminding him of a few things. Don't necessarily eyeball what you're looking at. Look the defense off. Know where you're going with the football. They'll put Chip Ferguson in there. They're going to tell him, look at, set up, look the other way, and throw it to the split end. They'll tell him where to throw the football, because Auburn will be fairly vanilla at this time of the game, Bob.
4 minutes and 20 seconds remain. 45-27 Auburn. Tied 17-17 at halftime. Auburn came out and scored twice. Then FSU, with some great defense, comes back and scores to make it 31-24. But back come the Auburn Tigers. This comes down to number 87, Galen White. Played a wing position way upfield, and he goes out of bounds at the 28-yard line. And from there, the Seminoles have 4 minutes and 15 seconds of football remaining at Auburn, where they have never won a ball game. You saw Chip Ferguson's statistics. Came in and threw for 1 touchdown. He was 2 out of 3 last week in relief versus Kansas.
He can wing it. He's got the big, strong arm, Bob, and, you know, classic drop-back passer type of arm.
He's hit from behind. It's pulled out of the air by number 92, Ron Stallworth. Touchdown, Auburn. It was 90, Brian Smith, who applied the pressure. Auburn laying it on today.
And then the sky is opened up. Good hustle by the... Watch him working around the top there, Stallworth. Look at it. Pow! Out comes the ball. Who made the hit? Brian Smith? Stallworth sprints into the end zone.
Another freshman. Listen to the turnovers. Florida State, 4 fumbles, 4 interceptions. 8 turnovers today by the Seminoles. Auburn has fumbled once and been intercepted 1 time, and that's why it's 51-27. Point after is good. 52-27 with 4:04 to go in the game. And we'll be right back to Jordan-Hare Stadium in Auburn, Alabama.
Pilot Chuck Yeager for AC Delco.
Up here, power when you need it can save your neck. When you get back down to your car, it helps too. Today's smaller engines need extra firepower from a spark plug, and AC delivers. If you could look inside your engine, you'd see an AC spark plug delivering up to 30,000 volts, firing 30 times a second. Firepower when you need it from AC.
Get rebates now on AC spark plugs.
Never wait for trouble.
As long as there are people who can afford perfection, BMW will continue to pursue it. The BMW 635 CSI.
There you see it. Auburn 52, Florida State 27, with 4:04 to go in the ball game. 8 turnovers from the Seminoles, 4 fumbles, 4 interceptions.
Well, we've gone into that standard Auburn Florida State strip for a while, but then the Auburn defense forgot their part. They came back and scored 12 points. We've seen 3 defensive touchdowns today.
25-point spread here. Keith Ross fumbles it in the end zone. He's going to run it out again. To the 12. Penalty marker down at the point of impact. Number 33, Curtis Stewart, was down there early. Penalty marker goes down. The biggest margin of victory, 57-21, Auburn beat Florida State back in 1960. And the first year these two teams played in 1954, Auburn won 33-0. And now they lead by 25, 52-27. And it was 17-17 at halftime. And it seemingly just moments ago, it was 31-24. Here's the penalty tacked on after the play out to the 27.5-yard line.
Personal foul on the kicking team. First down.
There's the announcement, personal foul. Like to thank Wayne Hogan, Dan Pearson, Lisa Morton of the Florida State University Sports Information Department for their help in our preparation in today's game. Ferguson bobbling the snap. It's down. Loose.
Auburn ball.
Auburn football, the 5th fumble of the afternoon. There's the man with the ball, number 41.
Pat Thomas.
Pat Thomas with the ball. Now, he may not have been the man with the ball. I'll double-check that. I think it may have been 47 character. So Chip Ferguson didn't exactly come and ride to the rescue this week as he did against Kansas. He is a freshman, remember that. McManus, then Thomas, then Ferguson. McManus was playing very well. First quarter and most a portion of the second quarter. Had dizzy spells. He's had 2 concussions this year versus Nebraska versus Memphis State. And they pulled him out of the game. Bo Jackson gets to the 22-yard line, and the new quarterback for Auburn is Jeff Berger, who's coming in relief of Washington. But Washington is simply getting a rest after having a good afternoon. There's Danny McManus, the young man who had the dizzy spells, 2 concussions. And you see over on his right, Kirk Coker, the other quarterback who has not played today. 3 of the 4 Florida State quarterbacks have. In this half, none have been effective.
Emotional year for Pat Washington, a quarterback for Auburn. The fellow that's kind of tying it all together now. As Auburn runs.
Jackson. A couple of yards, gets to the 20-yard line. Tripped up by 79 Gerald Nichols. Might mention here that Florida State came into this game undefeated, 4-0, after beating Nebraska on the road and Kansas at home 2 weeks ago. Florida State is having a better season early than they had been anticipated to have, and will still stay in the top 20 after this game. Losing to Auburn is certainly no disgrace. And Florida State still has an opportunity to go to a major bowl this year. They'll just go to 4-1, and that'll be the record for Auburn, 4-1. Bo Jackson on the sideline, only needing 90 to reach 1,000 after less than 5 games. 9 yards to reach 1,000. The 33, Curtis Stewart, to the 9-yard line. First down, Auburn, with 2:16 remaining in this football game.
I'm talking about Pat Washington. Really lost his job to Bobby Walden in the spring, came back as the 3rd-string quarterback, and just patiently sat there, didn't say anything, didn't cause any trouble. This young man's just got a ton of character and patiently played his role as the number 3 quarterback until he got his opportunity to produce, and you can see that this team responds to his leadership.
First down goal from the 9, Tigers. Stewart to about the 7 or 8-yard line, and down he goes. Clock down to 1:47 and counting. Both teams have 2 timeouts remaining. That will not be significant in this 52-27 game. Who would have believed it was 17-17 at halftime? And we thought the 2 Florida State missed field goals could prove to be significant. As it turns out, of course, they did not. So Auburn will just run the ball here.
Frank Orgel has to be proud of his defense, the way they responded in the second half. And came up with the big plays, the turnovers, the takeaways that turned the momentum of this football game.
Second down, goal from the 8.5-yard line. Touchdown Auburn. Handoff to Demetrius Threet right up the middle. And he broke touchdowns and ran it into the end zone. 58-27. And folks, that's not running up the score. Pat Dye simply handing the ball off to his third-team fullback, who ran it in from 8 yards out.
Demetrius Threet. Just running over people. The nose for Pater, Demetrius.
And that's good. 32 points now. The margin of victory only one shy of the largest margin of victory in this series when Auburn won the first game back in '54, 33-0. 103 remaining in this game. But the story of the game, in addition to Auburn's great offensive machine, 5 fumbles and 4 interceptions. Something that this team had not been doing.
No, it hadn't been doing. It's been offensively, it hadn't been up to the production level of a usual Florida State offense, but it hadn't been handing the ball away that much. Florida State has to be disappointed. Came in here, as you mentioned, rated number 4 in the nation, and a real challenge for Pat Dye and his coaching staff. And his players really came together, rose to the challenge. Had a team meeting the Wednesday before the Mississippi game after the Tennessee blowout. Just really got some things ironed out. Came in again in the Mississippi game, blew Mississippi out. Ran up over 600 yards in total offense to 9 for Mississippi. And in this game, which is perennially a dogfight, blew it open in the 4th quarter.
Blew it open. Get this, in 4 minutes, 8 seconds, Auburn has scored 4 touchdowns in the last 4 minutes, 8 seconds. 28 points. Here's Chris Knapp kicking off for Auburn, leading 59-27 with 1:03 to go in the game.
I've been in games like that, and you just kind of feel like, let it be over now.
The bus ride back to Tallahassee, too. Here's Keith Ross. He's going to try that kickoff return again from the goal line this time. To the 23, and down he goes. First hit, number 20, Shan Morris, the son of Larry Morris. And there's Pat Washington. On the afternoon, Pat Washington 5 out of 10 for 55 yards, 1 interception. But he's run this offense very effectively and very well today. This is not a passing game. This is the I formation with Bo Jackson, Tommy Agee, Brent Fullwood, Reggie Ware, Threet, Stewart, etc. No doubt it's helped this Auburn offense, that running game, Tim, by settling on a quarterback.
Oh, yeah. And what they've done basically, too, is they've taken some decisions away from that particular position and just gone back to the basics. I mean, when you've got those kind of running backs, you really don't have to be real fancy.
Here's Keith Ross. Out to the 32-yard line, gain of about 9, clock to 48, 47 and counting. Robbie will be glad to check the schedule, move on to the next game after this one here. He did not expect this kind of football game. Florida State will go next back to Tallahassee to play Tulsa, where they'll be heavily favored, then North Carolina, then Miami of Florida, then South Carolina, Western Florida, then Florida. You could figure that Florida State will probably be expected to lose only 1 or 2 of those remaining games, so they could end up the season with 2 or only 3 losses. Auburn goes into a tough schedule, folks. Georgia Tech at Atlanta, Mississippi State here at Auburn, followed by Florida at Auburn, East Carolina at Auburn, then Georgia at Athens, and Alabama at Birmingham. Tough road for these Tigers, but I believe Pat Dye feels his young men are up to it.
Well, I think he's got them on the other side of the mountain now. They've got things rolling, and they're playing well together. There seemed to be, and watching the Tennessee film, there seemed to be some confusion in alignments, and when you've got good people, keep things basic, and I think that's what Pat's decided to do. Just go back to some basic fronts and don't try to outsmart anybody when you can hammer them to death.
On 2nd down 1, Keith Ross takes the handoff from Ferguson, gets the first down to the 35. Clock running at 30. And Florida State's probably going to run one more play. They stop the clock while they move the sticks out to the 35, and Pat Dye's almost smiling, Tim.
Don't let it out. Don't let it out.
Pat tries not to until the game's over, but I think he's accepted this victory. And what a job he's done since he's come to Auburn.
They've got the 4th winningest program in the country over the last 3 years. So, and that's a testimony to he and his coaching staff.
He will now be 38-15 as Tiger head coach. Bobby Bowden, 76-30-2 in his 10th season. If you multiply both of those numbers by 2, you can see that they both have about the same winning percentage. They're only, what, 2 percentage points apart in the all-time list of winning percentage. Top coaches. Ferguson's going to air it out on the last play, what could be the last play if it's complete inbounds. It's incomplete with the clock down to 21 at the 14-yard line. He had looked for John Parks, the freshman, deep. And there's Bo Jackson, who finishes the afternoon with 176 yards on the day. What a great athlete he is. He opened the game on his 3rd carry with a 53-yard run for a touchdown.
He's a horse, but he's not the only one in the Auburn stable. With Fullwood and Curtis Stewart and Tommy Agee. Just keep coming at you and hammering you and wearing you down. They're going to be a hard team to beat.
We have a good team in the booth we'd like to thank. Done a good job again today. Kim Anderson, our spotter. Alex Vergara with statistics. Nicky Nichols with booth management. Skip Ellison, our producer, has done a great job as usual, along with Ken Fauster, director, and our entire crew. We'd like to thank them for excellent video coverage of this game with Florida State and Auburn. The SEC has some real tough ones on their hands today. There are a lot of teams in action. We've given you some of the scores as the afternoon has gone along, and of course we'll have more for you on most of these stations on the football action report after the game. Alabama plays Penn State later this afternoon. Tennessee lost to Florida 17-10. Mississippi State's at Kentucky tonight. Georgia's at Ole Miss in Jackson tonight. And LSU plays at Vanderbilt tonight. That's the SEC schedule for today. And next week we'll have the Tennessee-Alabama game for you at 12:30 Eastern Time from Birmingham, Alabama. Delay of game against Florida State with 15 seconds remaining, so they'll line it up and take the snap again. Chip Ferguson, the freshman, in there, with 17-17 at halftime.
We had some professional help up here, too. Bob brought it on a statistician, Charlie Kravitz, can help me out up here. Getting his wife Dale back there in Ocala, Florida, horse country.
15 seconds to go in the game. Chip Ferguson lines him back up again for the final play of the game, probably, unless he throws it. Yeah, he's gonna. And he throws it long. That's Philip Bryant. They got a big, deep prevent coverage on it. Number 9, Powell, was back there along with 3, Kevin Porter. They've got another play underway. Bobby Bowden keeps throwing this ball down there. I guess, you know, there's some intelligence to this, Skip.
Oh, boy, did I hurt you, baby? Did I hurt you, baby?
Yeah, Tim, there's some intelligence.
I look like Skip Carey. That's
yes, you do. My sidekick, Skip Carey. There's some intelligence to this on the part of Bobby Bowden, in that in a close ball game, when you got to be throwing it late like this with a prevent defense, it doesn't hurt to have some opportunities for your young man to try these plays. Some guys would just have folded it up and got out of town, but not Bobby Bowden. Trailing 59-27. This could be the last play. Tanner Holloman. And that's the last play of the game as Tanner Holloman goes down. The final score, Auburn 59, Florida State 27. Auburn is now 1-12, lost 1, and tied 1 with Florida State in what, after next year, when they do not play, will become a long-term, ongoing series between these two schools and will prove to be one of the great rivalries in the country. We thought it would be that today, and indeed it was for about 3 quarters. But Bo Jackson and company just gave the Florida State Seminoles more than they could handle. Florida State self-destructing with 9 turnovers. This is Turner Network Television.
When you were born, you had no idea how fierce the competition was going to get. All those eager achievers, determined to win the race for success. Being good isn't good enough anymore. To earn and keep your piece of the pie, you need an unfair advantage. A new way to make the most of your special talents and creativity. Hard work and ambition alone aren't enough to keep you moving up. Introducing Amiga, the first personal computer that gives you a creative edge. The computer with better color graphics, more speed and power than any other at its price. The only computer that lets you work on up to 4 things at once and makes every one of them more creative. If you want a better chance of winning the games you play today, you need Amiga, the first personal computer to give you a creative edge.
Close games between Tennessee, Florida, Virginia, Clemson, and Kansas, Iowa State. We'll have all the scores and highlights coming up next on the Red Man Report.
Final score, Auburn 59, Florida State 27, 872 yards of total offense in this game, 553 from Auburn. Bo Jackson gets 176 yards on the day and 2 touchdowns. Next week, we'll be at Legion Field in Birmingham for the Tennessee Volunteers and the Crimson Tide of Alabama. Hope you'll join yours truly, Bob Neal and Tim Foley, along with our TBS Sports crew on most of these TNT stations. Today's game has been brought to you by AC Delco, the smart parts, and by Gulf, the station with one low price, cash or credit, and by BMW, the ultimate driving machine. To arrange a thorough test drive, simply phone your nearest BMW dealer.
Also brought to you by Coors Light. There's no slowing down the silver bullet. By the Commodore 128 personal computer, a higher intelligence at a lower price. And by Delta, serving more than 100 cities in the U.S. and overseas. Delta gets you there.
And now stay tuned for the football action report coming up on most of these stations.